Center.
It is crazy in the NBA. Lots of trades being announced. The biggest one today, though, the Dallas Mavericks have traded Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell and two other players to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Chris Middleton, former Spur Malachi Branham, and two others, along with 2 first-round picks and 3 second-rounders. Spurs return to action against Oklahoma City tonight. SGA will not play.
Live from AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row in San Francisco with coverage leading up to Sunday's big game. It's The Blitz with Jason Minix and Joe Reinagel on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's a hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Oh, yeah. Even on Radio Row, it's a hump day. This is The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is out in San Francisco, California. Radio Row presented by AA Best Bail Bonds. And, Jason, what a day, not only there for you at Radio Row, but the NBA is going nuts when it comes to trades.
Well, and I'll tell you, while it's all about the Super Bowl here in San Francisco, at least at the convention center, because I'm not sure if actually the city knows the Super Bowl is in this town, but all the buzz on Radio Row is about the big Anthony Davis trade. Pretty incredible when the NBA can take over Super Bowl Radio Row.
Boy, isn't that the truth? In a huge trade, getting Anthony Davis out of Dallas, and I think the Mavericks came out smelling like a rose in this thing, where it wasn't that way with Luka Doncic. I tell you what, they came out smelling good today with a couple of first-round picks, 3 second-rounders, and you got to feel pretty good for them. Obviously, James Harden traded away from the Clippers to the Cavs for Darius Garland. That took place. 76ers have traded guard Jaron McCain to Oklahoma City for a first-round pick in 2026. Chicago Bulls announced just a few minutes ago Kobe White and Mike Conley Jr. are headed to the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for Colin Sexton and 3 second-round picks.
Now, and again, Shams just tweeted that one about 5 minutes ago. And you know what I haven't seen yet? The San Antonio Spurs mentioned in any of this, whether they're adding or a Jeremy Sohan departure. But with the deadline coming up tomorrow, it started yesterday, but going fast and furious with some of these moves that are being made.
Well, yeah, no question about that. And to put a cherry on top of this NBA news, Minix, the Spurs in a big game with Oklahoma City tonight. SGA suffered an abdominal strain last night. He will not play through the All-Star break, we're told. He will be reevaluated after the All-Star break. However, Steph Castle and Dylan Harper are questionable for tonight's game.
Which is going to be interesting. It's such a big game. And, yeah, it kind of sucks that SGA is not going to play in this game, I believe, on national television as well. But for the San Antonio Spurs, I mean, who cares? I mean, you have owned Oklahoma City this year. I mean, you have that one loss, but for the most part, you have dominated them with SGA. I don't think that takes too much off of what the Spurs need tonight because, January was a rough month for the San Antonio Spurs. We knew it would be. Just looking at their schedule, they survived January, get into February, still holding on to that 2 seed in the West. And, the rodeo road trip about to get underway. And this is the time that we've always known the Spurs under Greg Popovich to kind of gel in February as you make that real serious playoff push. So, yeah, it sucks SGA isn't playing tonight, but who gives a damn? Go get the win.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's playing, who's not. Go get the win. However, it will hurt the Spurs if Castle and Harper don't play. That certainly will be a big loss. But big game inside the Frostbank Center tonight, 8:30 tip-off. It ought to be a lot of fun for sure, as you mentioned, on national TV.
And I look at, kind of circling back to the Mavericks trade, and it'll be interesting to talk to some of the guys from Dallas that are up here in San Francisco because, they won the trade today. But when you look collectively, you traded away Luka for Anthony Davis. And now you've traded Anthony Davis, and you've added a lot, but still to get rid of Luka and in some ways try to factor it in. Now, they do have a lot of flexibility now and some resources with Anthony Davis's departure to build around Cooper Flagg. But, man, I still, while they won the trade today, I still go back to they got rid of Luka for what? The domino effect. Now, you realize Nico Harrison isn't there anymore. He got fired. And credit to the new GM for getting rid of Anthony Davis and trying to fix what was clearly a mistake. But still, they won today. But the overall Luka trade, I think they're still far behind.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. Although when you look at what Cooper Flagg is doing, as a 19-year-old young man, this guy is setting the world on fire. I think he's averaged 40 points a game over the last 3 games, and he is just playing like he's been in the NBA for 10 years now. So obviously that kind of lessens the blow of a Luka Doncic, especially if he can continue to play that way. And you get a Chris Middleton in there. That's certainly a player that can help the Mavericks and help them right away. And then a couple of first-round draft picks. So, I think the Dallas Mavericks, while they lost the Luka trade, certainly rallied today and made up for it a little bit, if not a lot.
Well, and I look at a Bobby Marks tweet from a Maverick standpoint, which, kind of pisses you off as a Spurs fan, but you got to keep up with what the Joneses are doing, if you will. They only have $150 million right now in guaranteed money next year, so well below the tax and the apron. And, they have freed up the ability to go build around Cooper Flagg. So, if you're the Mavericks, you're able to compete, which puts Brian Wright the pressure on him, who, all of what the Spurs need to do. You look at what's going on in Houston, you look at Oklahoma City, you look at what Dallas can potentially do. Brian Wright can't stand pat. He's got to make some moves as well.
Well, I hope so. And I know they're trying to deal Jeremy Sohan, and thus far apparently have not gotten any bites, or at least gotten what they wanted for him. So it'll be interesting to see before the trade deadline. Look, it's not until tomorrow. We've still got another 24 hours before the NBA trade deadline has expired or expires. And it's going to be interesting to see if the Spurs can get something done for Jeremy Sohan. But I'm with you. I think they got to do something. You got to keep up with what's going on. Now, as far as the Mavericks go, I think that's not going to help them that much this year, but certainly in years to come, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they're certainly playing the futures game. And again, we know Brian Wright's busy. He's not at lunch right now. He's not, on a golf course. He's working. But at some point, and I'm with you. All right, Jeremy, we assume he's going to be gone. I don't give a damn about that. I want to see what he can add in. Are we going to get that sniper, a 3-and-D type, another big to help Wemby? I want to see what's coming to San Antonio, not necessarily what's leaving. I think we all expect Jeremy Sohan to be gone, and probably for not much in return. And he might be greedy today. Tomorrow, he might be less greedy as the deadline gets closer. I'm less worried about finding out where Jeremy ends up and more worried about what the Spurs can do to improve this roster for this year and for years to come.
Well, we got about 24 hours to see if anything happens, but the NBA is going crazy. All of these deals have broken within about the last hour. It's just been bang, 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 bang. So we'll see if it slows down or if things continue to heat up in the NBA. Meanwhile, well, the reason you're in San Francisco, obviously, because there's a big game coming up on Sunday, and you're on Radio Row. We've got a ton of great guests coming up today, Minix, and I guess highlighted at this point in time by one CD Lamb.
CD Lamb is going to be on the Blitz in a bit, and obviously played in the Pro Bowl last night, and legend. But we also have Darren Woodson, who may or may not be going into the Hall of Fame tomorrow night. We'll find out. My guess is he already knows. We'll see what his poker face is like. And, I've been searching, Ryan Eagle, just for you to find some Patriots, since you're the one guy that apparently is on New England. And so Christian Fauria won a couple of Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. He also played for the Seattle Seahawks, but he does radio in Boston. maybe he'll give you some ammunition for your Patriots pick. But my goodness, you look at what's going on in this country. Everybody is rooting for Seattle. And I will tell you, this makes me a little bit nervous.
It should.
When you start looking at 84% of the United States is rooting for the Seahawks. California is they hate Seattle. They're 49er fans, so they're on the Patriots. Connecticut, Florida, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont are the 8 states that are apparently rooting for New England. The rest of the country, 42 states, on Seattle.
I feel so much better about my love for the New England Patriots to win this game. And it's not just the country, Minix. It's you. You're all in Seattle. We heard Shireen Williams yesterday from ProFootballTalk.com. She's all in. Jason Fitz yesterday, all in on Seattle. So I'm feeling pretty good. It's just a matter of whether I'm going to mortgage the house or not.
Well, and again, I know you well enough. You'll say New England. You'll hedge your bet somewhere along the way just to mitigate the losses when it's all said and done. And there's nothing wrong with that, with a game like that. And really, I think the storyline all the way through is going to be consistent. It's Sam Darnold. Will he play like the Sam Darnold we've seen in the past? Will he have that Sam Darnold moment? Will he lose the game? And that's the thing. You know, everybody knows his story. He's trying to ride it. Last year, great regular season, pooped the bed in the playoffs. He's played great this postseason. Can he do that one more time? You know, and what a redemption story, like our friend Ryan Leaf, who's going to join us coming up at about 2:30.
Well, yeah, no question about it. And I don't know if Sam Darnold can play any better than he played in the NFC Championship game against the LA Rams. That had to be the best game he's had as a pro. He was fantastic, spot on, all the right decisions. The throws were where they were supposed to be. If he plays like that again, Seattle's going to be very difficult to beat. There's no question about it. And then you look on the other side of the coin, Drake May has got to step up his game. He really does. He's had his moments with his legs, but he really hasn't played well in the 3 playoff games. And it's been that New England defense that has really kind of carried them to where they're at right now in the Super Bowl.
Well, that's it. He's played well enough to win, but like you said, his big plays have come with his legs. And if Seattle gets off to a fast start, and we've got a couple more days to talk about it, I don't know that they have the offense. The Patriots have the offense to keep up if it turns into a shootout. If it's a defensive battle, maybe. But that's the one thing about Seattle. You think about that regular season game against San Francisco that they won 13-3. They have proven they can win the low-scoring, grinded-out game, rely on the defense and get enough offense, or the shootout-type games that we've seen them in. That's what I like about this Seattle team, is they've kind of been in every moment and had to battle through, and they're playing on Super Sunday, that's for sure.
Well, that is for sure, and I like the under in this thing, too, by the way. I like a score kind of what you're talking about. A lot of people think at 21-17, 24-20, something in that effect. But I think it's going to be one of those games, and it's going to be a close game. Certainly don't see a blowout. At least I hope not. I want to see a good football game on Sunday afternoon. But you're right. We got a lot more time to talk about that for sure. And we will when we have a variety of folks coming up here, including, as you mentioned, Ryan Leaf, CeeDee Lamb, Jeff Garcia, former San Francisco 49ers quarterback, will join us as well. Christian Fauria, who you mentioned, the New England Patriots broadcaster, he's going to mention us. And then Darren Woodson. Can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. So don't go anywhere. All the coverage of the Super Bowl is right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We'll return to San Francisco and back here in San Antonio here on the Blitz in a moment.
You know, when you think about the game on Sunday, the best place to go watch it in San Antonio, the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. Also, a great place for tonight's Spurs OKC game. And it's Wednesday. That means steak night at the Roo Pub, because there's no better place to go watch any big game, any big event than the Roo Pub. And go hungry. It is steak night tonight. But as we often talk about, you know, they got the biggest and best wings in town. And I'll tell you, you know, they've got wings here on Radio Row every day. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm showing this is smallest damn wings you could ever see, and not near as good as what you're getting at the Brew Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. I love their fried shrimp. They got about 15 different hamburgers on the menu. The variety of hot dog options that you have there. The chicken sandwiches. It's all good. The salads, I'm told, are wonderful. Their appetizers. And that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Brew Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Our AA Best Bell Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind the scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in Silicon Valley, and the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from the Bay Area. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all of the pregame excitement leading up to the superb hour. From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all. Your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from the Bay Area, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey, the big game is almost here, but every game is big when you play Prize Picks because it's so fun to be right. And when the big game comes around, I'm talking 2,000 times your money. But you got to remember something. That's the code Alamo. With $5, you can get $50 in free play when you go download the Prize Picks app. But when the big game hits, the specials are here, and we've got them. And I love Prize Picks because if my guy is winning, I can cash out early. That's one of the best things about Prize Picks is they take care of you from beginning to end. Prize Picks offers 2,000 times your cash. I've heard all different numbers, not 2,000 from other places. So when it comes down to the big game, and it could be that big game or any big game, Prize Picks makes it a big game. Download the app, use the code Alamo, and use some big free money to play the big game. Prize Picks, let me tell you how good it feels, because it feels so good to be right.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
I don't know what's going on, Minix, but it sure is loud there at Radio Road, the convention center where you're at. Sounds like a lot of stuff happening. Big buzz going on there at the convention center. As everybody's arrived now, everybody getting fired up. Hey, it's hump day, man. Sunday's not that far away.
Well, and you're right. But it also, though, I mean, it is so crowded in here, but it is a smaller room than what we're used to being in. And it's interesting, this whole San Francisco Super Bowl. And look, I realize we're out here, it's Super Bowl week, right? So, I'm not bitching to bitch, but I know what I've been to 17 of these. And, like, this space, small. Last night's media party sucked.
I'd like to say I'm sorry, but I am not. I'm glad it sucked.
I know you are.
I'm happy it sucked.
It was just, we're going to the campus of EA, and I'm not blaming EA. It's the host committee. But you're going to the campus of EA. Rob Thompson worked there. He's been there. He was telling us all this cool stuff. We were in 2 rooms, and the food was, the bar lines were ridiculous. We Ubered out of there by 8:30.
That's crazy. 8:30 for a media party. Typically, we are at media parties till at least midnight or till they throw us out of that thing. So that's disappointing for sure. Sorry that happened to you, but I'm really not sorry. I'm glad it did.
You're not sorry.
No, I'm not. I'm not sorry at all. Although I know you probably got an Uber and found another bar to go, drown your sorrows in.
We did. We've got a great dive bar that we have found, and saw almost our second bar fight of the week last night. This time it was 2 chicks. Now there's like 9 people in this little neighborhood dive bar. Yeah, and this one that was wearing a little red miniskirt was just, I don't know what's the word, with this other lady, and they separated them. She left, and then some lady started, I don't know, howling. What's the word? She was doing breath work at the bar. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Breath work.
I don't know. She was just howling, making some odd noises. It was odd. I will tell you, it was odd. I was wondering what she was on, but apparently she was trying to ground herself and do some breath work after this damn near female bar fight. But she's just kind of like howling, making these weird howling, whistling noises at the bar. It was bizarre. So he tapped out and went home.
Well, that's too bad, and it must not have been too big a fight because you mentioned and you kind of buried the lead there, Minix. You saw one of the women had a red miniskirt on.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that could have been very entertaining had they.
It could have been, but they were separated before it got to blows. It was loud. She was very loud, and she was very clear she was going to whoop that other woman's ass, who was kind of trying to hide behind her dude, who wasn't going to help her at all, if you know what I mean.
I wouldn't want to get in the middle of a chick fight, no.
And then the bartender coming around, separating them and going over there, and then you had this woman that just started howling and making weird noises, trying to ground herself with her breathing exercises. It was a night, I can tell you that.
Well, that's good.
That ended early for us.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing for you guys, without a doubt.
Probably. So tonight we got a nice steak dinner on tap, and then we'll go from there. But it's been interesting so far. It's of all the Super Bowls, there's the lack of feel once you leave the convention center that the Super Bowl is in this town.
That just baffles me. You've been telling me these stories that Uber drivers don't know, and some of the bar keepers don't know, and that there's a Super Bowl even in town. That is just weird to me. But I guess it is San Francisco and a lot of other things happening there. The one good thing about tonight, though, I mean, you and Rob and Erica can get together around the television set and watch the Spurs game. I don't know how entertaining it's going to be, Minix. We've already talked about SGA being out. The entire starting five for Oklahoma City will not play tonight.
So they're punting on national TV. They're pulling a Greg Popovich, if you will, on national TV. I can't imagine that goes over well. But if you're the Spurs, you can't lay an egg tonight. And even De'Aaron Fox said, tonight they've got to be the aggressors.
I think coming out of halftime, they made adjustments. They were extremely physical, and they basically got what they wanted offensively. So. I think we're down 4 or 5 or something going into halftime, and that's a good spot to be, especially on the road. But we have to be able to come out of halftime and be the aggressors. We have to hit first, and they hit us first, and that run kind of sustained too long.
Well, yeah, and they need to be. They need to look. If Oklahoma City's going to punt this game, make them punt and make them pay, and get out, get a big lead, take care of business, and get out of there. That'll be the good thing that happens.
Well, and again, after halftime, those third quarters that have been a problem for the Spurs, they've got to take this thing seriously, because the human nature, when you see basically Oklahoma City punting, is to have a letdown. The Spurs can't have a letdown. They need to go out and pretend that everybody is in this game.
Well, you're right. They need to. And you know what I love about this, and I don't know why Oklahoma City's doing this. Obviously, they had a game last night. SGA got hurt. They don't want their other guys getting hurt. I get all of that. But think about this. This will be the 4th game between these two teams, and the Spurs could sweep this thing. I think they have one more. Well, did Oklahoma City win one? They did. Yeah, okay, so it's 2-1. Okay, my bad. Or
3-1. 3-1, because they won the
3-1
game thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, but still, you got a big lead. You win this game 4-1, and then you carry that momentum with you after the All-Star break.
No letdown tonight for the Spurs.
Going to be interesting to see, but just the fact that that's happening is crazy. And again, the big trade today, Anthony Davis has been traded away from the Dallas Mavericks to the Washington Wizards, and the Mavericks, in my mind, absolutely just lapped the Wizards in this whole thing. Not only getting 4 players, the headliner there, Chris Middleton, but they get 2 first-round picks, and they also get 3 second-rounders. So that's the big news of the day. Listen, we got a big guest coming up. Ryan Leaf is going to join us next on Radio Row there with Minix in San Francisco. So let's take a break. We'll get ready for Ryan Leaf. This is The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let me tell you about my good friends at Stevens Roofing, though. Family-owned company, local company, and just plain old nice folks. But they've been in business for a long time. They've been doing this for a long time. They are experts. And you say, well, how long is that, Joe? How about since 1983? That's how long Stevens Roofing has been in business. And now they've added solar to what they do. Yeah, if you've been thinking about solar panels on your house, Stevens Roofing and Solar is the company to remember. The number to remember is 210-785-0994. They'll put a plan together for exactly what you want. You tell them what you want to do, how much you want to spend, where you want to go. It doesn't matter. They'll put a plan together. They'll get it done, and you know they're going to get it done right. If you think there's something wrong with your roof, maybe a leak you've seen or something just doesn't feel right, call up Stevens Roofing and Solar. They'll send a team out to your house. They'll inspect your house for free, and they'll let you know if there's anything wrong or what they need to take care of. Either way, they're going to give you that peace of mind that you need and you deserve. Call Stevens Roofing and Solar, 210-785-0994, or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net.
All Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Oh, yes, playoff football is here, baby, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all that action. Playing on Underdog is so easy. You pick your favorite players. Are they going to go higher or lower on their stats? Sounds simple, right? Touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, passing yards, you name it. Is your favorite guy going to have more or less of those stats? And if you get it right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. How incredible is that? You know, everybody's playing at their peak right now during playoff season. Who do we trust? How about the guys who have been in the playoffs before? That's who I'm looking at consistently, guys with that experience to go higher on their stats. Download the app today. Use my promo code Alamo. You get $75 in bonus entries with your first $5. That's promo code Alamo. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, March 30th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $150 per person or $500 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting fitting animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, March 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com. Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Oh, it's a big Wednesday in the sports world with the Super Bowl preparations ongoing and the trade deadline in the NBA. Oh, my goodness, lots to talk about, but we need to head back out to San Francisco. That's where Jason Minix is, and, well, you can just hear from the background noise the excitement and everything that's happening there on Radio Row in San Francisco. I'm Joe Reinagle. He is Jason Minix.
And joined now by good friend Ryan Leaf, who we met at the Super Bowl 10 years ago. It was crazy when it was here in San Francisco, and how your life has changed in the last decade. You could write books about.
I remember I was scared to death. 10 years ago, walking onto this row. You know, it was a big leap for me of faith. Luckily, I had two really good people with me. My wife-to-be, and she was my girlfriend at the time, and then Craig Gass, who's a comedian, a friend of mine who just kind of, he did a lot of the hits with me and used he's a comedian and used some of his, you know, comedy to lighten the mood a little bit. And it was the start of what my life would become. If I would have told you 10 years ago when we met that this is where I'd be, I'd tell you we're crazy.
Well, and I remember, and I'm such an idiot. I mean, we're at because Datwin was my co-host at the time, so we were at an NFL alumni deal that otherwise, as a media guy, I wouldn't have been able to go to. And I offer you a beer, and you're like, dude, I don't drink anymore. And I'm like, duh. But we started talking, and then everything that was going on with Johnny Manziel, and like, dude, just come on Radio Row and tell some stories.
And that's where it stemmed from. Paulie Pabst, who's the executive producer for the Dan Patrick Show, who stayed in touch with me all through the years, ran into him in the lobby. I just thought I was coming into San Francisco to do a brain and body check that the NFLPA was putting on. Thought I would just dive into town, get a free checkup, make sure my health was going in the right direction, and get back home to LA. And he ran into me in the lobby, thought my story could be impactful, and asked if I would come on the show. And I had to talk to a lot of people that night and decide whether or not I was going to do it or not. And it changed a lot of things for me. I mean, it removed the power, I think, from a lot of the negativity that existed, the toxicity around football, and realizing that football wasn't the thing that was toxic. It was the way I viewed it and the way, who I was. And so that changed everything for me 10 years ago when we were here in San Francisco. And the last 10 years have been a very, an incredible life. 2 kids now, 8 and 2, and moved to the East Coast, and a job in broadcasting. It's crazy to see how it's gone.
Ryan, it's an incredible story. It's just what you went through and how you've come out to be, and along with your beautiful family that you just mentioned. I can only imagine, and you'll probably never know, the people that you have helped get out of the situation that you got out of.
I won't. I know that, but with the confluence of social media, people have been able to reach out. It's been amazing to see some of these messages. My wife wants me to collect them all and kind of put them into like a scrapbook or something like that, to see these messages, how I affected people's life simply by being on your guys' radio broadcast. If somebody in your local market heard the story, found some sort of semblance of hope, and now kind of has the life of their dreams, which is, there would have never been a purposeful life like that if I had just been a good quarterback and won Super Bowls and rolled off into the sunset. I think what makes you relatable is being a flawed human being like everybody else, just trying to be better.
Ryan Leaf joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star, and the fact that you're comfortable enough to own the story. And I love on social media when somebody tries to take a shot, you just fire right back because your life is good. You had one the other day, you were in front of a police car doing some event, and you're like, man, this is what it's like in the front. I mean, you own it. And that's so relatable to so many people now.
Well, I think it's just, you remove power from it. You just don't let it hang over you. I'm comfortable with who I see in the mirror. I like that guy with all the scars and scabs and things that come with it. Ironically enough, I'm more of a confident human being than I was as a starting NFL quarterback, which is crazy to think. And it took me years to realize that, because I like that guy. And so, yeah, it's funny. Social media is a funny thing. I clap back a little bit more than I used to. I also try to be funny, but I don't think people know I'm funny. I don't know. Did you see my Bill Belichick tweet the other day?
No, help me out.
3.7 million views. Said I said it was the day of the Belichick announcement. I said I am a Hall of Fame voter, and I did not vote for Bill Belichick because I'm resentful and I wanted revenge. And I said, and Tom's not getting it either. How do you lose to Foles? No way, no how. And I bet you 3.5 of the 3.7 million who viewed it actually thought I was a Hall of Fame voter, and they were outraged. It was a day and a half long of people just burning themselves down to the ground.
I think that's hilarious. And we need more of that, Ryan, to be honest with you.
Somebody get a sense of humor, all right?
Let's go. I mean, we need more of that, don't you think?
Well, it points to the absolute absurdity that the man's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes.
That's what it pointed to. I was trying to point to the voters and how idiotic they are through the process by saying, I'm just resentful, and I'm having my revenge. That is like the Bill Polian and Tony Dungy conversation that's going to be happening here in the next day or two.
Well, that's it. And you think about, can you tell the story without Bill Belichick?
No. Not even close.
Although by that, you're kind of a Hall of Famer then too, because you can't tell the story of
my draft card's in the Hall of Fame. Can't.
Your draft card is.
Yep.
So you're already there.
My lone item that's in the Hall of Fame is my draft card.
Well, that's a lot more than a lot of people have, Ryan. That's pretty cool, I think. That's awesome.
Well, there's not a lot of people that have been drafted either.
That's true.
A lot of things that I have accomplished that others haven't.
I think about your broadcasting, all the games you're doing on TV, everything that you're doing. At what point do you just pinch yourself and say, man, this is actually worked out the way it was supposed to?
Well, I don't know if it worked out the way it was supposed to. I just know it. Maybe it just worked out the way it's supposed to. I don't take it for granted, that's for sure. So there isn't a moment that goes by where I'm like, I deserve this, or I should have more. That's the biggest thing in all this. Like, I don't think for one moment that I should have more. I have exactly what I'm supposed to have, and I'm really grateful for it. And I work with a bunch of great people. I got to call my first NFL playoff game this year, which was unbelievable. And it just continues to go in that direction. I love calling games. I love being around the sport. I love promoting it. And then I love to, be on the other side of that and work towards the wellness and support players post-career too. And I think that's an important facet to all this.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, Ryan, you got to tell me, did you have New England and Seattle in this Super Bowl?
No, I don't think anybody had New England or Seattle in this year's Super Bowl. I think that's what I really like about this NFL and the parity that exists. I mean, you can really change your stars by adding a new head coach and a quarterback. Listen, this is why the coaching carousel was what it was this year. Owners, because they're billionaires and money doesn't really mean too much to them, they can do this. They can say, hey, Gerard Mayo didn't work. I thought that was pretty impressive on his part as being a billionaire and admitting that you screwed up, hiring a new head coach, putting them together with the quarterback that you drafted to change the narrative, and all of a sudden now you're back in the Super Bowl again. As for Seattle, Mike McDonald's just he went into a place where people knocked him early on for trying to change the culture that Pete Carroll had set, but the reason Pete Carroll was jettisoned out of there is because they wanted a new culture in there, and that's what Mike McDonald has done. They also said, Sam Darnold, you're good enough. No one else thinks you're good enough. We think you are, and we're going to support you. And they've supported him from the start. And I can't tell you how important it is to have somebody to believe in you. Just one person sometimes believing you. And when the head coach does and the team follows, all of a sudden you're a guy that can go out there and lead the league in turnovers, yet still have the most confidence you've had all year in the biggest game of your career in the NFC Championship and take it over and be as surgical as you were. So I couldn't be more proud of Sam Darnold for both of these teams, and I'm excited for a good football game.
Well, and as we visit with Ryan Leaf here on Radio Row, you look at a guy like Sam Darnold, had the bus label on him when he was with the Jets, gets to a place, I like that, somebody that believes in him. He had all these fans. We're all waiting for Sam Darnold to have a Sam Darnold moment, because it happened last year after a great regular season with Minnesota. How do you overcome that and change the narrative? Just go out and have one hell of a Super Bowl and it changes everything? Or will there still be a but always when you're talking about Sam Darnold?
I hope not. I hope that the NFC Championship changed that. The guy went out there and they put it in his hands. Like, they couldn't run the ball for anything in the second half of that football game. Like, he was asked to close that game out, and he was as good as he's been in his career. He's just continued to get better. I always loved checking in with Jordan Palmer every offseason to see what NFL quarterbacks kept coming back and kept trying to work and getting in the lab. No matter what the season looked like for Sam Darnold, didn't matter if he was the backup or if he was the starter or if it was where he was at, he was there. He was trying to get better. He's continued to push. And you go out and win 14 games in Minnesota and they tell you it's not good enough. That just shows you how mentally tough he is, because he doesn't care. Doesn't have any ill will towards anybody who got to this place with him. He was ready to go, and in the biggest moment, in the biggest game, I think he'll be as prepared as anybody, and wouldn't surprise me one bit if he's the one holding the Lombardi Trophy come Sunday night.
I just hope it's a good game. I really do. But I've got to ask you this question, Ryan. When it comes to the coaches, you already mentioned McDonald, and on the other side with Vrabel, coaches really matter. And I've always been one that says, look, these are pros. They know what they're doing. They don't need a lot of guidance. But I think I'm starting to change my mind. Should I?
I would. I think that coaching goes a long way at the NFL level, and not necessarily in the technique and fundamentals aspect of things. I think there is a lot that goes into it in terms of life skills as a professional athlete, how you prepare, how that goes about. I mean, you see these young coaches who are recently players that may have not had a lot of success in the league, but understand what it takes to be there and show up every single day. The Sean Mannions of the world, the Davis Webbs of the world, that didn't play hardly at all at the next level, but are already being seen as future head coaches and offensive coordinators and stuff like that. So I think it's an important narrative to understand that these guys, what they do is they give them something to help them with. I think a reprieve, because in the biggest moments, they're out there on that island alone with the 10 others trying to execute the thing that they've been practicing their whole entire lives for.
Ryan Leaf here on the Blitz. I want to ask this based off this conversation. C.J. Stroud has seemingly regressed tremendously since that great rookie season. Is that coaching, or what do you see with C.J. Stroud and his level of play right now?
Listen, I don't think that's the case. I think he's had he's had to go through two offensive coordinators in the span of 3 years. He's been injured. I thought he learned quite a bit when Davis Mills was in during his injury, how he saw that as long as you don't turn the football over with the defense that we have, just take what the defense gives you, we can win. And we can win the division, we can win playoff games, and we can go to the Super Bowl. And then came along that playoff game where the weather was just unique. Both players handling the football, and Drake May and C.J. Stroud struggled immensely with it. And he just seemed to take a step back in terms of what that meant to take care of the football was. Because in that game, in that situation, if they just took care of the football, they probably win that game with the way the defense was playing. And so, that's going to be a tough offseason for him. And they're going to have to figure out what's going to be the best thing going forward. It wasn't the best timing for him in terms of when a renegotiation was coming up, but I don't think for a second that right now you're going to go out and find a better quarterback in Houston than C.J. Stroud right now for them.
Ryan, it's difficult, and you see these young quarterbacks come into the league, and a lot of them have such high expectations. Mendoza is another guy that's going to be a number one draft pick, most likely with the Raiders. What kind of pressure is on these young men as they come into the league, expecting, the fans certainly expect them to change everything immediately?
Well, if you're drafted as high as these players are, as high as I was, we didn't feel pressure. We expected to be there, and we expected to play well. So I think a lot of times that's a misconception that the pressure is on us when – if anybody puts pressure on us, it's ourselves. We want that moment. We want to be there. We expected to be there. Where I think things get different is when and if you play poorly, or if there's some poor play that happens and the outside noise starts to creep in, how you deal with that. Do you deal with it in a healthy, positive way? Do you understand that you still can only control the things that you can, your attitude, your behavior, and your effort? That's a big conversation to be had through that whole process. So I never felt like pressure was a big thing. I thought that was a cop-out using that as an excuse.
Ryan Leaf here on the Blitz on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. Fascinating story. And one of the cool things, Ryan, you live now on the East Coast, but you do a lot of work down in Houston, but you're going to spend a lot of time in San Antonio as well.
Yeah, I just joined a club outside San Antonio. So, the weather right now, especially in Connecticut, it's about 3 feet of snow. I was just in San Antonio playing in one of our tournaments down there, and it was gorgeous. I mean, it was a little chilly in the morning, but I tell you what, it was a fun few days playing there. Do a lot of work in Houston with the Menninger Clinic. It's a state-of-the-art psychiatric and substance abuse facility, and They went into a partnership with the NFLPA, which is our union, and I'll be down there quarterly. And, every time I am, there'll be anywhere from 10 to 12 former NFL players there getting the help that they need. And I get hands-on peer-to-peer experience, which makes it incredibly purposeful to have that impact, to show the guys that there is hope and someone they can relate to. And I'm thankful for the Menninger Clinic and Armando Colombo, who's the CEO, who gave me this opportunity about 3 years ago. We're heading into our 4th year together, and it allows me to go back to Texas, and I always enjoy my time down there. So excited what the future holds with the Menninger Clinic and my time in Texas.
And bring the clubs with you. Now, I will say, if you need a 4th, let me know. But Ryan Eagle is a far better golfer than I am. I would hack up that really
Doesn't
fancy
matter.
course. All right, we'll just go and have a good time.
Just go have a good time.
You need some extra people, let us know. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what handicaps are for.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Although I'd be happy to break 100 over there.
Hey, man, if you have a high handicap, you'll be right there. I mean, you listen to Scotty Scheffler. He plays all week with his boys at these clubs, and the number one player in the world sometimes can't beat the guys because of the handicap system, and it's there for a reason. That's why it makes it competitive against guys who can't break 100, but it can make it a game because they get shots. It's hard to beat guys who get shots.
What are you shooting right now?
Shot 80 yesterday at San Francisco Golf Club.
Nice.
First time I'd seen it, and I was really rusty early on. It was tee to green was a struggle, but I came around at the end. I think I was 1 under through the last 6 holes, which got me back in the match. So the golf course is unbelievable. I'm utilizing this week not only for my time on Radio Row and giving back, but I'm also getting out on the golf course here in San Francisco.
Well, it's always nice to do that, kind of clear your head and just relax for a few hours, right? That's what I love about golf.
I love it too, because the relationships you make, the fellowships you have for 5 hours, pretty quickly and immediately that you are going to enjoy the 5 hours with this gentleman, or you're not. That's going to be a pretty quick find out there in that instance.
Good stuff. Well, Ryan, congrats again on all your success. I can't believe it's been 10 years.
I know. Buddies for 10 years now, every year. Just looking forward to this.
This is good stuff. Ryan, appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks, Ryan. I tell you what, Ryan Leaf, what a great story he is. And I tell you what, if you talk about a success story, Ryan Leaf is on the cover of that story. It's fantastic. Always great to talk to him. I'm getting a lot of great comments about that on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page. Jason, Ryan Redemption Leaf, one says, you can't tell the Peyton Manning story without Ryan Leaf. I mean, just all of this stuff that people are impressed by what he does and how he does it. So always fun to have him on Radio Row and be able to talk to him.
Well, and on a personal side, it was 10 years ago at Super Bowl 50. And because of that win, I was able to go to things that I wouldn't normally do, and that's where we met. Now, I was just more excited about meeting Ryan Leaf because he's a Washington State legend, and that's where my wife and her whole family went to. And when he first got drafted, I got my father-in-law and autographed Ryan Leaf ball with the number 2, one of those, fancy balls. And that was, something that, I've got back now since my father-in-law has passed. But, he is just so big in the Washington State community that it was just cool to meet him and talk to him and to see what his life has turned into, because, that's the one thing about Wazoo. They didn't give a damn about what went on in the Chargers and everything that went south for him after that. He won a Rose Bowl with Washington State and will always be a legend in Pullman, Washington. So for the in-laws, just the chance that I got to meet Ryan Leaf, that was the biggest thing for my father-in-law at the time. And so very, very cool stuff.
Well, he let you stay married to his daughter, so that was good.
Well,
you needed a little help
choice.
In that matter,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, no doubt about it. No, I seriously love his story, and if you don't know his story completely, just research it. And if you're impressed now by just hearing him on Radio Row, once you know the full story and everything he went through to get to this point, you're going to be that much more impressed by this man and what he does, and now how he helps other people that are in the same situation. And that's what I love about that. No question about that. We go from Ryan Leaf to one CD Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, the number one wide receiver. There is no A attached to that. The number one wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys will join us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, make sure you get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. I know my jacket that I'm wearing here in San Francisco with the 94.1 logo, got that done over at Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. You need winter gear. It's rodeo season. You need their logo on jackets, half zips, hoodies. Go see Sam. The winter line's still on display in that showroom. You need caps done. Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom. And he's got all the popular cap brands, the Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. You just need your logo on some golf shirts, some dress shirts. Go see Sam. He's got all the big name brands: North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Travis Matthew, Port Authority, to name a few. And he also has now a full line of Tommy Bahama. Incredible prices on the Tommy Bahama, and that price does include the logo. Nobody has better prices. Sam is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too big, no order too small. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro. It's a mile inside Loop 410 right there across from the McDonald's, or check the website samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Riding home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
It's Pork Rind Appreciation Day at PorkRinds.com. Hall of Famer Devin Hester and PorkRinds.com are lining up to be the heroes for the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. Pork rinds are the MVP of the snack aisle. Low carb, gluten-free, and packed with protein. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Visit PorkRinds.com to enter for a chance to win a 2027 Big Game Travel Package and a year's supply of rinds. Support a great cause and find your favorite rinds at PorkRinds.com. Pork Rind Appreciation Day, the crunchiest day in football.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-839-8484. That's 800-839-8484.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight. They're taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder inside the Frost Bank Center. They'll tip off at 8:30 tonight. The entire starting five for the Thunder are not playing tonight. Meanwhile, for the Spurs, Steph Castle and Dylan Harper are questionable. And a big trade today, Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell. They went off to Washington from Dallas. Chris Middleton goes there and some picks.
Live from San Francisco, it's The Blitz, broadcasting from AA Best Bell Bonds Radio Row ahead of Sunday's game. Here's Jason Minix and Joe Reinagle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back to The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle here in San Antonio. Let's head back out to San Francisco where Jason Minix is standing by. Jason.
With a great special guest, C.D. Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys with USAA rolling around Radio Row. You played in the Pro Bowl yesterday, man. Tell me what that experience was like.
It's a great experience, man. Just being with the guys from different teams that you compete against. Obviously, you see in a different light, but together, well, yesterday we were all on the same team. So I feel like overall it was a good time, good bonding moment for us. I enjoyed each and every bit of it, and obviously we came out with the dub.
You know, CD, it's funny because watching that thing last night, you guys were having a lot of fun, man. It just looked like you guys just wanted to go out there, have some fun, float around, make some plays, and just have some fun.
Right, that's all it's all about, man. I think people forget, like, the game that we play is all from when we were a kid, and I feel like us as grown men now, in the situation in the realm that we're in the realm of seriousness and competitiveness, that we kind of forget, like, to be a kid again and have fun and do what you love and just embrace it all.
You know, CD, when you say that, and I can imagine when you're playing there, you're with the guys, it's flag, it's entertaining. You know, a lot of fans, media, like, what is this? You know, the Pro Bowl used to be, you know, this special deal, and then there was no contact. But as a player, it's still a cool honor and a cool experience, right?
Absolutely. I do understand where they're coming from, though, because, like, I mean, you got all of the best athletes in our sport today doing it, like, playing in one game. So you want to see overly competitive, you know, and just a different game. But I feel like in a situation like this, I mean, someone got hurt in the Pro Bowl. Granted, no, I don't wish that on anybody. But, like, you know, you have to be some type of careful. Like, I feel like we got to be a little more serious, which I agree on. But, like, I mean, it's flag. How much more serious do you want to get? So at this point, I feel like just really competing and building that bond with each and everybody that's around, whether you're on the same team or if you're not, meeting families. I mean, we're staying in the same hotel. Everyone is. So I feel like to what extent, you know, just build, again, you got to have fun with this.
Yep.
No doubt. Now, CD, I know that next year you don't want to be playing in that Pro Bowl game. You want to be playing in the game that's coming up on Sunday. The offense for the Cowboys this year was sensational. You guys were rolling, putting points up on the board. We all know what happened this season. What do you guys need to do to take that next step, CD?
we got to play complimentary ball. Like when our defense wasn't as good as we expect, honestly. But I will say, when they had their moments, we didn't capitalize on the offensive end. And I feel like that's the part that's going to kind of eat at us until next year, because knowing that when we have our opportunities and we didn't take them, that's kind of where you got to bite the bullet and look yourself in the mirror. And I feel like that's what we got to do. I mean, we look good on paper, and we've had a lot of highs on offense, but I feel like once we lock in and just continue to be ourselves and always be the same people in the same offense every single time, that's when we'll be great.
CeeDee Lamb joining us here on the Blitz, and you think about how explosive that offense was, Super Bowl caliber.
Right.
And the defense struggled. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat that.
Right.
How difficult is it in the locker room not looking at that side saying, come on, dudes, we should be winning more games?
I mean, it's honestly it's all about building that confidence, because, I mean, we're going to deal with them. We're going to be with them for the next 16 or how many ever games left, right? So just building that confidence, like, man, don't we all see what's going on, right? But, like, I don't care what it is. Just give me your best right now. Whatever your best looks like right now, let me get that. And I feel like that's the conversation that's going on in the locker room, because guys are here for a reason. And it's like, just be yourself, man. It don't matter what's going on. Do what got you here. Like, I do my best to instill the confidence within these guys, because when you're playing good, it's easy to build that confidence. It's easy to just, all right, bro, you remember what you did last week, okay? So, like, and then you build off that. But, like, when things are bad, that's when you find the true character and the true player that you are to really just overcome things. I mean, offensively, I've dealt with some things that I wasn't my best, but I knew who I was. I looked myself in the mirror, and I went out there and balled.
You know, CD, let's talk a little bit about what's going to be the conversation of the offseason, and that's going to be George Pickens. And will he come back? How will he come back? And all of that. That's the business side of it. Take care of itself. When he came in, what did you think of you two together? Did you feel like that helped your game, having a guy of that caliber on the other side?
I just knew it was going to be fireworks. Immediately once I found out, I want to say a week before, I knew it was going to be fireworks. I had no doubt in my mind. I knew he was going to come here and be dominant. I knew he was going to come here and be the receiver that I knew I needed. I knew he was going to be the receiver that we needed overall as a team, you know, and he came in here, did just that. I was so excited to see. I hate that I missed 3 to 4 games with him, maybe 5, because I missed 2 half games. I hurt the Lions, missed the Bears, and the list goes on, but it's not about me. It's about GP and everything that he's done up to this point. I feel like it's been amazing, man. He's a great talent.
With the contract with him, whether he gets tagged or he gets a long-term deal, I'm curious, because and I hate talking about other people's money, but
right.
The ego. Would you be all right if he ended up with a contract making a couple dollars more than you?
Man, I don't care about that. I just want my man to get what he's deserving. Like, as for me, I know I'm good. I'm fine. Me and my family, we're straight, and I just want to compete at the highest level, and I want to compete for a ring. The money will come if you play good. So just play good and let everything else take care of itself. So as for GP, he's well deserving, man. He deserves everything, every penny that he gets. And if he gets more than me, I'm gonna congrats him on that. And again,
then give him the dinner bill.
I won't feel. Yes, give him every dinner bill for sure. The first one. For sure.
CeeDee Lamb joining us here on the Blitz on Radio Row, doing a lot of great work with our friends from USAA. Tell us about the experience you're working with USAA on.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to announce that I'm a proud partner with USAA and Salute to Service to give 2 tickets to a proud veteran for 14 years. He did. Sergeant Farrell, to be exact, and his wife. Invite them to the Super Bowl. Hope they have a great time, and I'm going to be able to sit down, meet with them, have a great conversation. Really just kind of open up in that department. So as for me, it's just really just connecting with these guys and his family, and just being there.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate what you're doing with the veterans, with USAA, and man, I hope one day that I get to see you play in a Super Bowl, my friend.
I would love to.
Appreciate you, CeeDee. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, CeeDee. CeeDee Lamb, the #1 wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, joining us here on the Blitz out there on a Radio Row at the Super Bowl. I tell you what, Jason, the answer to the last question surprised me, and it didn't. I mean, you asked the question if he's going to be upset. Will his ego not let him have the fact that George Pickens may make more money than him? What a great answer. And what a great grown-up. And I'm not sure 5-6 years ago That would have been the answer. Today,
I don't know that
it is.
I don't know if that would have been the answer a year ago or 2 years ago when he was trying to get there. And what I appreciate about his answer, I don't feel like that was just lip service. There was zero hesitation with that answer. Zero. It's not like he had to think about it. It was, no, man, I'm straight, and go get every penny. And I think, sometimes with players, they all have an ego, and they all, throw it out on the table, and it is that measuring stick, if you will. And he got his. And at the time when he got his, it was straight. But there is ego when it comes to that. They all want to have something that says they got the biggest in this or that or the other. Now that he got his, then you get guys that root for others to go get theirs. And I like the follow-up. If they win, my goodness, could you imagine the group of Cowboys that eventually, at whatever year it is, whoever it is, that group of Cowboys that next wins a Super Bowl, the amount of money that those dudes will be able to make because of events like this, Super Bowl Radio Row, all of the different things that would come with winning a Super Bowl in Dallas, it would be incredible.
Well, I love the answer just simply because, we always talk about all these guys want his money. The more money they can get, the better. And while CD is getting money from outside sources, I like the fact that his ego is such that he doesn't have to compete with a George Pickens, even if he is signed to a contract that makes him the highest paid wide receiver on the Dallas Cowboys roster. Great answer for him. It's great having him here. I'll be honest with you. And because we've talked to him before at training camp, but never in a setting like this. And just calm, cool, collected, and looks like he's really got his head on his shoulders.
Well, and I think absolutely the headline to me, he doesn't give a damn, because you got to wonder. I mean, that how much would that factor in? And I love the fact that, and I think it does help that they are really, really good friends. 1A, 1B, when they say they don't give a damn, based on that, I'd say they don't truly give a damn.
Well, it's going to be interesting. That's a perspective from CD Lamb. What's the perspective from one George Pickens? And I think that's something that needs to be asked of a George Pickens. And he may give you the same answer, and it may be an answer that we think is fair and is non-egotistical. But then again, who knows on the inside? Because, again, I truly believe that George Pickens will get interest from outside the Dallas Cowboys. I know they can franchise tag him and keep him there. I get that. But at some point in time, Jerry's going to have to put up or shut up when it comes to George Pickens. He may have him for another year, but after that, you may have to start thinking about it.
The financial aspect of things, and by not signing Micah Parsons, you have the ability, if you're Jerry Jones, to have this conversation. And I know there's going to be a lot of interest. The Cowboys won't let it get to that point because they'll use the franchise tag. So it's not like a Buffalo or New England can make him an offer. They'll tag him to keep that from happening. Now, I could see Jerry using that as trade leverage, like he did with Micah Parsons ultimately. But if they tag George Pickens, that outside interest won't matter. And then next year, could they use a second tag on him? Now, that'd be dumb financially, but the Cowboys can keep the Sharks at bay, if you will, until they figure out what they want to do long-term and what they think they can get done with George Pickens long-term. I fully expect a tag. And then it's, do you get a long-term deal done, or ultimately do you pull a Micah Parsons move and trade him and get multiple picks in return if you find somebody that's willing to give you some picks and also pay George Pickens? Because, again, nobody would trade assets to the Cowboys for George Pickens if they can't work out a long-term deal with them.
Well, and we saw that happen with Micah Parsons. I think whoever is in need of a quality wide receiver, a number one, if you will, and a couple of teams come to mind, the one playing in the Super Bowl. Can you imagine Drake May having a George Pickens? That would be pretty good. Josh Allen having a George Pickens. So I think some of these teams, depending on what they have and their resources, might just be interested in a trade with the Dallas Cowboys for something like that. It remains to be seen. And again, that will be the most asked question, I think, of the offseason until something gets done and figured out. Even if he signed to a franchise tag, Jason, that question is going to continue because Just because he signed to a franchise tag doesn't mean the Cowboys can't negotiate a long-term deal with him. So get ready for it, my friend. It's going to happen. And it's just another day that starts with Y when it comes to, or ends with Y when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. That's for sure. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, their quarterback, Dak Prescott, played in the Pro Bowl game last night along with CeeDee Lamb and a bunch of others. And I tell you what, I will say this, Jason. I watched a little of it, and from what I saw, it was what it was supposed to be. Just a lot of fun, a lot of football players just out having a lot of fun. And that's what I thought it was all about. Dak Prescott did talk after that game last night, and we've got that for you. When we continue here, our big game coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds will continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I don't know if anybody has checked the weather forecast. I certainly have. And if you have, you're going to realize it's going to be 80 degrees on Saturday. 80 degrees and sunny on Saturday. Then in the mid to high 70s on Sunday. If you haven't played golf in a little while, it is a perfect weekend to get out to the golf course and play some golf. The weather is improving. We've got a break in it, and hopefully that's it for the cold weather as far as I'm concerned. Either way, take advantage of the situation. You want to go out to the Golf Club of Texas. Get out there and see this place. If you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't been out there for a while, you got to see this place. The improvements they've made to that golf course are second to none. It is incredible. Everything that they've done makes this place look like a schwanky country club. It's not, though. It's open to the public 7 days a week. They've got a great staff out there that's going to take great care of you. And the food, get out there and go hungry because the Tin Cup Bar and Grill is the place you need to go. The food out there is fantastic. They've got a variety of food stuff for you on their menu. And they've got any kind of cocktail that you want, any kind of beer that you want, whether that's on draft or in the can. It's just a fun way to spend the day. Playing some golf, maybe watching some TV, having some great food. The Golf Club of Texas has all of that. And look, you know exactly where it is. It's right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Whether you want to head out there for dinner at the Tin Cup or around with your buddies, how about your next tournament out there? Go check them out. Best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. Golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars $50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The $50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The Headline Blitz is brought to you by Novo Brazil Brewing Company, San Antonio's newest sports watching destination with over 60 feet of LED video walls and 80 craft beers and kombucha on tap. Novo is attached to North Star Mall and open late hours to serve you. If you haven't checked out the new Novo Brazil Brewing Company attached to North Star Mall, what are you waiting for? We're talking craft beers and kombucha on tap, a handcrafted food menu, 8 massive LED screens. This is San Antonio's newest sports watching destination. It's Novo Brazil Brewing Company's first Texas location and is conveniently attached to North Star Mall and open late hours to serve you. Fresh Novo Poke Nachos, Picanha Prime Sirloin, burgers, and more. Novo Brazil Brewing Company. Go to novobrew.com. That's novobrew.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That fun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
You know, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your team, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com. Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Big shout out to all of our sponsors making this possible. A trip to Radio Row in San Francisco to cover the big game. It is awesome. We thank them very much. Go support them. Will you do that? That would be awesome. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is out in San Francisco. And well, I tell you what, Jason, there's a lot of sights and sounds at Radio Row. And I appreciate the pictures, my friend.
I mean, yeah, there's some things that are between us. I just got to do you a solid.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. But yeah, no, I mean, it is quite a day here. And I'm trying to, like, some of the buzz and some of the what's that?
I said, wait, that didn't go to the group? I don't have anything.
Oh, well, no, of course not.
Nope. So when you think about, like, it is so crowded today, and we can't decide, is it more people than normal, or is it just because the convention center room is that much smaller than what we're used to at Super Bowl Radio Row? I'm going to guess a combination of both. But at the same time, I think because they did the Pro Bowl yesterday, you get a lot of the people that are here earlier in the week than they normally would be. Most would fly in on a Wednesday, and they're here, on the road Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But so many of the bigger names, like a CeeDee Lamb, is available today. I look at, like a guy like Ryan Flournoy, who we promoted, is going to be on the show today. Well, he's having flight issues, so he likely isn't going to make it, although it's still kind of up in the air. But he certainly is going to be when we had him originally scheduled. So, because he's flying in today. He didn't play in the Pro Bowl last night. CeeDee Lamb did. I appreciated what CeeDee said about it from a player perspective. He had fun with it. A fan perspective, not so much. I didn't see any of it. In fact, at the media party last night over at the EA campus, they didn't have it on.
Well, I don't blame them for not having it on, but they even ran a tush push last night at some point. I think it was Joe Burrow that ran that thing, and they did very well. But I watched a little bit of that, and it was just a lot of fun. I mean, you tell the players were just having fun with it and goofing around and just kind of enjoying themselves with their colleagues, if you will. So it was a lot of fun. It certainly was. And I'm glad that I didn't watch the whole thing, maybe about 10, 15 minutes of it. But that was enough to know that, well, it sucks, but it was more entertaining than a real Pro Bowl game.
Well, and I look at, like what CeeDee Lamb told us. I mean, he had fun with it, but he understands why people hate it. But from an athlete standpoint, fun. And the good news is you had a lot of people talking, and including Dak Prescott. And look, George Pickens is going to be the topic all off season for the Dallas Cowboys until some solution happens, whether it gets signed, whether it gets traded, whatever ends up happening, it gets tagged. That is going to be the story. But Dak Prescott certainly wants George Pickens around. CeeDee Lamb certainly sounds like he wants George Pickens around. And Dak talked last night about the confidence that they have with an offense when you include GP.
Makes me feel good knowing that you're able to be there to help somebody and somebody coming in on a tough spot in their career. As you said, a bunch of narratives about them that they don't necessarily believe is true. So as he came into Dallas, we gave him a clean slate. We're going to get to know George for who George is. And just the way that he's shown up, he's been a professional. His talent has made that chemistry for us, right? Speed and expedite to give him all the credit. But at the end of the day, he's a guy that loves football and loves his teammates. And I can get along with anybody like that. And so we're blessed to have George. And he's a hell of a teammate.
Well, it's interesting, and he had a hell of a year. There's no question about that. And it only helps a guy like Dak Prescott to have a couple of wide receivers like that. I mean, ask Joe Burrow how much he enjoys having the two wide receivers that he has. And so it only helps Dak. And naturally, Dak is going to push to have George Pickens come back to the Dallas Cowboys.
And again, you think about what that offense was first year under Brian Schottenheimer.
It's very bright. You said it starts with Shotty. Sure, Jerry took a chance on him, but he's a guy that's been in this league and coaching experience for 30 years. He grew up with a dad who's been very successful in this league, so he knows what it's supposed to look like and he knows how it's supposed to go. And at the end of the day, he's been a very transparent, very genuine coach, player's coach. He's honest. We'll have those one-on-one conversations that he's easy to follow. And so through the ups and the downs, he's been very consistent. He's been the same, and he's a guy that anybody will follow, and we're blessed to have him.
No doubt. I think Shotty has impressed a lot of people in his first year with the Dallas Cowboys. And because a lot of people were doubting that was the right choice, that maybe Jerry made a bad one, but I think Shotty came in and proved a lot of people wrong. And the fact that Dak Prescott likes him, I think, is pretty much all you need to know. If he likes him, he's probably going to stick around.
Well, and we'll see. And, kind of like the annual events at the Super Bowl, you get the annual comments from Dak Prescott that the best is yet to come.
Yeah, that my best is coming ahead. Think about when I came into this league, to be a Pro Bowler then as a rookie, to be back 10 years later, it's a blessing, and I don't take anything for granted. But you said it, the journey, it's been a lot. It's been some good years, some bad years, some changes within the organization, and I've grown through it all. Each year I feel like I'm a better player and I'm a better quarterback, and there's no reason I don't think the next year's going to fall right in line.
That surprises me. And now, did he say he made it his rookie year and hasn't been back since this trip? Is that what he just said? Because I thought he was a Pro Bowler before.
Well, he's been all pro a couple of times, and I know there are some times that he declined to go, but I don't know. I mean, I don't keep up with Pro Bowls and all that. He made it as a rookie, and he's glad to be back 10 years later. I don't know. I'm just caught up on the fact that, like fans, it's always next year. With Dak Prescott, every year, the next year is going to be the best.
Yeah, well, I hope, obviously if you're a Cowboy fan, you hope so, right? I mean, you hope that Dak Prescott gets better. Look, I'd be okay if Dak Prescott just came back next year and had the same type of season he had this year. I mean, the guy was pretty damn good.
He was, and they've got to fix the defense. Now, of course, the defense sucked this year. I'm just going to make Joe's head explode because partly they traded away Micah Parsons at the beginning of the year. Now, there was some stuff that was said and lots of stuff that was said. Here in San Francisco, Micah's like, no hard feelings.
I'm a forgiving person. I don't know about Jerry, but, I have no bad blood. If I saw Jerry today, I would shake hands with him and say, still thank you for the opportunity I had to be a Cowboy.
Oh, how sweet. That's really sweet. You know what's cool about Micah Parsons? I will say this. He's been riding around on one of those carts that you get at the supermarket, like at HEB, if you're riding around on that thing, if your legs hurt. He's been riding around, and some of the other players have been taking it for a spin around the AstroTurf there. It's been kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. And again, he's rehabbing the leg, but still participating because he doesn't want to miss the party.
No, of course not. He doesn't want to miss the party. Absolutely not. It's good to see all those guys. And just a reminder, the Cowboys didn't win with Micah Parsons. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to bring the room down or anything like that. Hey, let's talk to a winner, a quarterback that played for the San Francisco 49ers, a guy that – was another guy that nobody thought would make it, but he turned out to be a pretty damn good quarterback. Jeff Garcia, he's going to join us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And I'll tell you, if you're watching on YouTube, I don't know that you would recognize one Jeff Garcia. We'll talk to him coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Injuries do happen, and when they do it, you can skip the ER and get straight to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
What's wrong, Cupid? Lost my mojo. These arrows just don't work like they used to. The facts are people fall in love thanks to Kinetico, not poor old Cupid. You don't say. Oh, absolutely. Look over there. She's got silky smooth hair thanks to a Kinetico water softener. He's got softer skin and cleaner clothes, and now they're all lovey-dovey. Makes me sick. Don't feel bad, Cupid. You still have your bow and arrow. I know a Kinetico runs on kinetic energy like my bow and arrow. There's no computer to break. A Kinetico has it all.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Kinetico of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
You know, you're right. I love my Kinetico, too. My diaper has never looked so white. And my wings, oh, I look good. Cupid, you can always come to work for me, but you're going to have to wear pants.
KineticoSA.com.
License number 38961.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though. I'm freaking out. Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in Silicon Valley, and the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from the Bay Area. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all of the pregame excitement leading up to the superb Owl. From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all. Your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from the Bay Area, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Back here on the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Glad to have you along on this Wednesday afternoon. We appreciate it. I'm Joe Reinigle here in San Antonio. Out in San Francisco, enjoying all the fun, gets all the good stuff. Jason Minix is out there on Radio Row.
I certainly am, and we're waiting for Jeff Garcia. Now, the dude that's working with Jeff just walked up, and I don't know why the hell he handed me a bucket of candy. I'm not sure if this is for
bribery.
I have no idea, but he's like, Jeff's running a couple minutes late. He he had to make a pit stop. Sorry. And I get it. I get it. I mean, you're right, and the bathroom is forever wet. But if there's anybody that could understand priorities, it's you, Joe Reinagle.
Well, I guarantee I'd probably be late for every interview because I'd have to go in between each and every one of them. I get it. Hey, Jeff Garcia, he's 55 years old now, so he's getting to that point in time where those things kind of take over.
Well, we'll talk bladder control with Jeff Garcia when he's ready to get here. But I'll tell you what, man, this night or day leading into the night, the buzz around the building has been rather interesting, not only about the big game, but some of the big trades in the NBA. And that's the one thing. Everybody here is a sports fan, and football players love NBA guys. It is pretty wild when you start looking about and thinking about the various conversations that you're hearing and having here on Radio Row.
Well, and you're right, because everybody is like us. I mean, typically 99% of the people out there, or certainly a high percentage, are in sports talk radio. So you're following everything. If you're just getting around or had your head in the sand, Anthony Davis has been traded away from the Dallas Mavericks to the Washington Wizards. And Jason, what baffles me, and I mean this in all sincerity, I look at an article in The Athletic a few minutes ago that graded that trade. And they're giving the Dallas Mavericks a D+, and they're giving the Washington Wizards an A-. And I'm like, I don't know what they're thinking. And my only offering there is the fact that Anthony Davis's reputation far outweighs what is reality when it comes to his playing time and staying healthy.
When healthy, and that's the key. Availability is always key. When healthy, he's a dominant player. I think Dallas is going to get hammered for this because it still coincides with what happened with the Luka trade. Here we go. Jeff Garcia is just showing up here on YouTube. And Jeff, at this age, man, when you got to go, right?
I mean, I'm sorry. Appreciate the holding up for me, Jason. But, yeah, no, hey, you can't hold it back anymore, man. At this age, multiple times, too many times.
Well, and it's, and Joe Reinagle's back in San Antonio. And it's funny because we make fun of this dude's bladder left and right. I mean, he can't go 30 minutes without having to stop and go. And so it's like, all right, Joe, you're going to understand. Jeff's running late. He had to stop and go.
Well, I said, give the guy a break. I get it.
Sleep deprivation these days is due to too many getting up and down bathroom breaks through the night. But that being said, hey, thanks guys for having me on, and appreciate you, and hope you're having a good time here in the Bay Area.
Absolutely. Now, Jeff, I got to start with, I didn't recognize you at first. Everything look, do you walk around a little incognito now, especially here in San Francisco?
I mean, with the beard and the hat down low, I'm just trying to keep a low profile. No, that's a joke. That being said, no, man, I appreciate really being back here in the Bay Area. I really appreciate, obviously, everything that I was able to experience here with the 49ers. And this is where I grew up, so it's returning home for me.
Jeff, what I loved about seeing you play football and watching your career is you were one of those guys that a lot of people didn't give any chance at all to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. And you were. And you played for a lot of teams, certainly the San Francisco 49ers, but you made a career in the NFL, and you were a success when a lot of people told you couldn't be.
All grit, no quit, man. It was like the fuel to my fire is hearing people say that I couldn't be this or couldn't do that. It just fueled me. And I knew that I had ability within me. I had a mindset that was determined. Look, hey, I'm the first to say, coming out of high school, I would have never expected myself putting on an NFL uniform. And I don't think anybody in my high school would have expected that. That being said, I believed in myself and just the process, and just taking advantage of the moment that I was currently living in. I didn't think too far ahead. I didn't try to believe that, hey, I'm going to be this all-star college quarterback that's going to lead to the draft, all of those things. Hey, I had to go to junior college and earn my stripes and play for my dad before I got anywhere. And then coming out of junior college, I got the opportunity to go up the road 30 miles to play at San Jose State. Not exactly your heavy hitter at the Division I level, but it gave me a chance to do what I love to do and earn a degree. And that led to not the NFL, but the CFL. So the process was a working process that really each step had a critical place in my life of just development, of achieving, of really just having a mentality that, hey, this is, I can only control what I can control. I can't really control who's making the picks, but I can prove to them that when I do get the opportunity that I'm worthy of it. And that was the key. I think every stop that I made, whether it was in Calgary or with the Niners, maybe not with Cleveland or Detroit, but in Philly and Tampa, I proved my worth. I proved my value. I proved that I could lead and be a star in the sense of doing the right things to help a team win football games.
Jeff Garcia joining us here on Super Bowl Radio Row in San Francisco here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Now, we're a big Cowboys town. We're the second biggest Cowboys affiliate, or the biggest Cowboys affiliate outside of their flagship in Dallas. You played for a lot of teams that the Cowboy fans hate the most. And so it's kind of mixed because I've always respected what you did. But, man, you were the helmets, right? Is there a team that you just loved going against because you just didn't like them?
I mean, I hated Dallas, to be honest with you. I grew up, I saw the catch. I was in my living room. I remember that against Everson Walls right there in the back of the end zone with Dwight Clark.
It was my first
I know those aren't the most favorite experiences of the Cowboys, but what's funny is that every time I played against the Cowboys was in Dallas. I must have played them maybe 3 times with the Niners. I played them with the Eagles, played them with Cleveland. I played them with Tampa. So the 5 or 6 times I played against the Cowboys in my career were all in Dallas. And, there's something about playing. Now, it was the old stadium, but playing in that stadium with the history, with the just the long lore of greats that played in that stadium, then to be a part of the team like the Niners or the Eagles, where there was an intense rivalry. Obviously, the Niners because of the playoff experiences, and then the Eagles because it's in the division. But to experience that from that side, being the other team against you guys, it just brought a lot more excitement to the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's what makes this game fun. You have those rivalries and that sports hate, if you will, and it makes it fun. Jeff, I've got to ask this question because I've never heard you answer it. Maybe you have, maybe 1,000,000 times. But you changed your jersey number 3 times, 5, 7, and 9. Is there any kind of rhyme or reason that you did that?
Not because I wanted to change my jersey number.
Okay.
So I was 5 in college, and when I went to Canada, 5 was a retired number, so they gave me 7. So, okay, I like 7. I wore it for 5 years, started to like it. When I came to the 49ers, a kicker had number 7, so they put me in 5. Well, that was my college number, so okay, I'm back to 5. Well, I like 5, so I kept 5 through Cleveland. Well, when I go to Philly, Donovan has 5, so I got to go back to 7, And then when I went to Tampa, they gave me 5, and I'm like, no, I want 7 now. So I bought it from Bruce Kwiatkowski. I should have bought it from the kicker maybe in San Francisco, and I would have been 7. But I really liked 5, and I think when I think back to my career, I'm more a number 5 guy than a number 7 guy.
Jeff Garcia here on Radio Row. We start the conversation with bladder control, and you're working with Mueller. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm showing these Revive deals. Well, tell me about the Mueller Revive.
Well, I've teamed up with Mueller Sports Medicine, and just like myself throughout my career, Philly revived me. And then I went on to Tampa to have a decent finish to my career. Revive is athletic gear that helps the body decompress, helps swelling, helps eliminate pain, aches, helps the lymphatic system get reactivated so you can flush out toxins in your body, much like I think recovering from a hangover and drinking water and electrolytes. your boots that are inflatable can help you refresh your legs. If you're a runner, if you're actively out there doing things, it can help with, like I said, minor aches, pains. And it's something that all training rooms, even health spas, med spas, they're all utilizing it today. And you could utilize it right in your home like I do. I have a pair of the boots at home sitting on the couch. I strap them up and then I let them go to work, and they refresh me. If nothing else, it gets me to feel refreshed instead of going and sitting in a cold water pool of 30 degrees. I put on the boots.
That works. Jeff Garcia, appreciate you stopping by, my friend. It's good seeing you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Jeff Garcia here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe, I you gotta appreciate that, right? Run a little late because of the bladder, but then you think about your legs at this point, something that could help. That certainly would.
Well, absolutely. And he was talking about a hangover. Do they have a hat? I mean, that would be nice too. They need to develop the hat. I don't think it'd help me with my legs, but yeah, I think that's a very cool thing. And it's amazing some of the technology and the stuff that they're coming out with now that help athletes recover quicker. I think it's pretty cool. Look, I love talking to Jeff Garcia. I was never a fan of the 49ers or any of the teams he played for necessarily, although he did play a year in Houston, by the way, with the Texans. But I love the way he played, and I love just his grit and determination. Guy that nobody gave anybody a shot, but yet he had a long, successful career in the NFL. I love stories like that.
Well, and again, you always played for the most part for teams I don't like. But you're right. Stories like that, the small college story, the going to the Canadian League, or when you see Spring League guys and what they're able to do and then make it and to play at a high level. And if you've got talent, eventually they're going to find you. Not every successful quarterback was the a top 5 pick or a first round guy. And I mean, all right, let's go Tom Brady or wherever, you know what I mean? It's just, but if you've got the talent and you put in the work, it could work out for you. He's one of those great success stories. And I think the surprise was when he left San Francisco and bounced around the league quite a bit, but he kept after it. I mean, that dude played in the NFL for 18 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he played for just about every team there is, but he played for a bunch of different ones, that's for sure. But yeah, a very successful career for a guy that started out, as he mentioned, in a junior college and then went to San Jose State. I mean, my goodness, not exactly a football trough of NFL talent. So
I'm looking at the teams that he played for. I don't remember him playing with the Lions. I don't remember him playing for the Raiders. And honestly, I don't remember him playing for the Houston Texans.
Well, he was there as just primarily a backup, if I remember correctly. So it wasn't, I don't know that he ever saw the field, to be honest with you, back in those days. But he went to the playoffs 4 times in his career, a couple of times with the 49ers. I think he took the Eagles to the playoffs, but never really made a big playoff run with any of those teams. But again, I really like the way that he played. And persevered. By the way, Jason, another trade has happened in the NBA as we switch just briefly. Yesterday, oh, is that right? Okay, so Pledge just updated the scene. The Cavaliers have traded Lonzo Ball to Utah. And Utah got a big get yesterday in Jaren Jackson Jr. But apparently, as Pledge just pointed out, Utah's expected to waive Lonzo Ball. So that's according to Shams Charania. So while it seemed like a big trade, the only reason I can think of is because Ball's coming up for a contract, and maybe Utah doesn't want to pay that.
Yeah, I mean, you hear that, and there's some salary dump, obviously, situations there, buyout type situations, just trying to digest that one. But that's kind of the move I'm expecting to hear at any moment about a Jeremy Sohan. Just move them on and let's see what can happen. But you're right. I mean, with the trade deadline coming up tomorrow in the NBA, the fact that we had a huge trade yesterday and already a couple of today, Brian Wright over there in the Spurs offices needs to get to work. And I know he's working. I would just like to see some results of said work. Get a deal done.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. There is some news, though. We just got an injury report not on tonight's game, but on David Jones Garcia. He's going to miss the remainder of the season. he underwent surgery on his right ankle. So Jones Garcia suffered that injury back on January 10th in an Austin Spurs game. He's done for the rest of the season. I know he's a fan favorite here in San Antonio. Folks like watching him play, but, well, you got to wait till next year now. He is done for the season.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Although I know everybody kind of wants to see him jump to the NBA level and see what he could do. So maybe next year. And that's the other part. We're thinking about what the Spurs need. You wonder if there's somebody in Austin that could fill the void. Although if they could, they'd probably already be there. I know there's some, names there that people seem to want to fall in love with, or they're already in love with because they're different than what they currently have. I'm still looking for that sharp 3-point shooter, reliable 3-point shooter, little 3-and-D type, or a big is what I'm hoping Brian Wright can pull off in the next 24 hours.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. We still have 24 hours, although today's been a very active day. Yesterday was too, for that matter. Still nothing from your San Antonio Spurs, who have a game tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder, a Thunder team that I just hope they may be calling you, Minix, or me to go suit up for them tonight, because they're down their entire starting lineup, not playing tonight. I hear they're going to play with 9 players. So interesting. Oklahoma City, all kinds of banged up. That is for sure. Our Radio Row coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds continues live from San Francisco. Coming up in just a moment, Christian Fauria. Is that how you say that, Fauria? How do you say it? Ferreira?
Yeah, sure. Well, Christian
Ferrara. Yeah, pretty cool guy. He's going to join us next as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I have got to tell you about a brand new place that, I discovered, and I love the place. It is fantastic. It is called Novo Brazil Brewing Company. Now, this place is attached to North Star Mall. They've got their own entrance at North Star Mall, which means they're not stuck with the mall hours. They've got their own hours, their own entrance, and so you can go in there. You can go in there late and enjoy watching sports, eating great food. They've got that Brazilian beer all over the place, but they've got all kinds of selections of beer as well, and they've got a full bar in Novo as well. Not to mention the fact that if you want to watch sports, in fact, there's a pretty big sporting event coming up on Sunday. Novo Brazil Brewing Company is the place to go. They've got all kinds of TVs in there. In fact, 8 massive LED screens, over 80 feet of LED video walls. It's incredible. 60 craft beers. They've got kombucha. I don't know if you've ever heard of kombucha, but I had a chance to try that the other day, and they've got all kinds of flavors of kombucha, and it's really pretty good. You just got to be careful. It tastes good, but it'll sneak up on you. It is fantastic, though. I'm going to tell you. The food is fantastic. It is a great place to go. You need to check this place out. It is Novo Brazil Brewing Company. It is attached to North Star Mall with its own entrance. Get in there. Check it out. I did. It's their very first location in Texas, and it is going to be a hit. Novo Brazil Brewing Company, Novo Brazil Brewing Company. Go check them out.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
10-yard line, touchdown Vegas, what a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL.
Big games, weekend trips, last-minute plans. February gets busy. That's why Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits is opening their doors to new furry family members this month. With over 6,000 feet of indoor play space, 5 outdoor play yards, and fully trained staff supervising your pup's every move, your dog stays happy, safe, and active while you're away. Add grooming, training, and special one-on-one time to make every day, every stay unforgettable. Call 210-750-1298 today. Bluebonnet Bunkin' Biscuits.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law Fights.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Tax free edition only. Roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. Now this is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
And to get TurboTax free edition, see if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Total Wine is your home field advantage for game day. The only place to go for the lowest prices on your go-to lineup of spirits, beers, seltzers, and wines. Tackle game day and every day only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the NBA trade deadline is tomorrow, but been a lot of activity today. In fact, the Dallas Mavericks have traded away Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell, 2 others as well, to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Chris Middleton, former Spur Malachi Branham, and 2 others, along with 2 first-round picks and 3 second-rounders. San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight. They're taking on the OKC Thunder. The Thunder, all 5 starters are out.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Live from AA Best Bell Bonds Radio Row in San Francisco with coverage leading up to Sunday's big game. It's The Blitz with Jason Minix and Joe Reinagel on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Back on the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel here in San Antonio. Let's head back out to San Francisco for Jason Minix, who has another special guest.
I do, and he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. Christian Fauria, former Patriots Super Bowl winner, joining us. And Christian, this is great for you because everybody is on at Seattle except for Joe Reinagel. He's on the Patriots. Are you on the Patriots to win on Sunday?
Wow, straight off the top.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. I can play along. I'm actually picking the Seahawks. Freudian slip almost there. And I try to only tell people this outside of New England, okay, where I feel like I'm safe. And I'm not going to have any criticism. But no, I think the Patriots, good team. I think the Seahawks have a great team. I think they have a great team. I think they have absolutely every trait and characteristic that you're looking in a successful team, not even an organization from top down. And so the Patriots, but I just feel like the edge goes to the Seahawks offense. That's where I would say the difference is ultimately going to be is this whole idea that if Drake May decides to go, decides to disappear during this Super Bowl like he did in the 3 playoff games, the Seahawks will make him pay. The Seahawks will make him regret fumbling it, throwing a pick. Like, they can score in bunches. They can score in a hurry. Just look at look at the NFC Championship game, like how they scored before the half and how they scored this. It's just, they're just too powerful and they're too explosive.
Now, Christian, as you say that, and I'm with you here because you've got your rings with New England. You also played 7 years in Seattle.
I did. No affiliation really with them. Like, the whole organization has been turned over. There's nobody that I know there anymore, which is fine. It's just like, and I left in 2001 and I never went back. I stayed on the Northeast. I never even lived on the West Coast again. So really, I mean, I've been covering the Patriots since I retired. I do a pregame show, a postgame show, a late night show, a Tuesday show. So I'm very, very intimate with this team and what they're capable of doing. And, and like the Seahawks, massive turnaround, right? Very similar. Like Pete Carroll leaves, Bill Belichick leaves. Mike McDonald comes in. Well, then the Patriots hire Gerard Mayo, but then they get rid of Gerard Mayo. Then they hired Mike Vrabel. I think they're very similar in their philosophy and their approach to building a team.
All right, Christian, despite your well thought out, the Seattle fandom there.
Yes.
I understand what you're saying. Talk to me. Sam Darnold is a guy that I think deserves a hell of a lot more respect than he's gotten. I mean, everybody talks about he's going to turn into Sam Darnold again. He's going to remember who he is. So far, he's only won 14 games with 2 different teams, and he's got the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. When does this guy start to get the respect that I think he deserves?
Well, I think he has. I think people look at the whole "I'm seeing ghosts" thing, and they just stick that to him, and they don't let him get over it. I would say he's a product of bad systems, bad management, bad organizations. He was obviously always a good quarterback. He just needed the right coach. He needed the right support system. He needed the right, he needed the right opportunities. And he found it after leapfrogging from all these different teams and almost rehabilitating himself. And then having a crappy postseason with the Minnesota Vikings to having a great postseason with no turnovers and any of that stuff that played him with the Minnesota Vikings, he was fine. So now people, I think, are feeling like there's a ticking time bomb. Like eventually he's going to turn into I'm seeing ghost guy, which is crazy. Is that whole I'm seeing ghost was against a Brian Flores coach team and the New England Patriots. I remember sitting there going, this guy is washed up and he's so young. But man, to his credit, he found his way. But long-winded answer, okay, to listen, if he wins this game and even if he's not the reason why they win it, but as long as he just manages it well, they'll never talk about it again.
Don't lose the game. Christian
Just
Fauria,
don't lose the game, yeah.
Joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. All the broadcasting you do in the Boston area. What's the reaction been with Bill Belichick and now Robert Kraft apparently not getting into the Hall of Fame?
Mayhem, chaos, reckless behavior, terrible decisions, like all that stuff. Boston they're combative. Right. And they protect their own. Like they will sit there and rip you on one hand, but if somebody else tries to rip you, they'll come to your defense. It's weird that the way it is out there, and it was bad. I'm not going to lie. Like nobody was happy with it. People were wondering why. And it's funny. Everybody blamed Bill Polian. Like they blamed Bill Polian. And I remember Bill was like, listen, I voted for Bill. And they still didn't believe it. And now you find out that maybe it was Tony Dungy that didn't vote for him. So they want to find out who it is. And they want to make that person pay. But I guess in the end, guys, he'll get in next year. Hopefully Roger Craig gets in this year. I think that's kind of what led to this decision. Less about the vindictive and petty nature of all the voters.
Well, I think the same thing, Christian. I wonder, what do Patriot fans feel about Deflategate and Spygate and all of that? I mean, I would assume that's
never
gone
happened.
away.
What are you talking about? It's a big conspiracy, Come on, Roger Goodell hates the Patriots. He's a clown. That's what I think about it. And we don't even talk. I tell you what. I'm so tired of Deflategate. We had Deflategate, we had Spygate, we had Spygate 2. I mean, it's like there's so many gates. We had Rub It Down Gate from the Orchids of Asia Gate. We had all these different things. Look that one up if you guys remember what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's like, golly, it's like if there isn't some sort of chaos or controversy, the Patriots aren't happy. But I don't know. We don't think about it. I at the time, it was a lot of fun. I was doing so many shows here, and this is all we talked about.
Sure.
Yeah.
All of it. It was it was like exhausting, the Wells report and all that stuff. But I don't think that plays now. I know a lot of people still hold it against them. Once a cheater, always a cheater type of thing. But I can sit there and say, take out Bill Belichick's first 3 Super Bowls. Wipe it out. It never existed, right? You're SMU. And then he had a second career where it was absolutely a Hall of Fame coach if we're letting coaches into the Hall of Fame. And that's how I would kind of phrase it.
With Kraft and Belichick not getting in, and with Bill on first ballot, do you think that will have any impact on Tom Brady?
No. I think if that's the road they want to go down, fine. But I think it's this is a game I like to play, right? Forget about who's voting. I think sometimes people get lost in the numbers and the minutia. I think all of us being sports fans, football fans, if I gave you a name, okay, right now, if I said Hall of Fame, yes or no, Luke Kuechly, what would you say?
Yes.
Okay, if I said Eli Manning, you would say
no.
Okay. So you have to think about it, right?
No.
So if they have to think about it, the answer is no. A lot of people are like, well, geez, I don't know. If I said Troy Polamalu, it is yes, absolutely. He's a freaking Hall of Famer. If you have to think about Eli Manning, then he's not a Hall of Famer.
Well, that and I'm with you. Darren Woodson should be in the Hall of Fame. Thought he was going to win last year. Maybe he goes in this year. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. No, I think that's the way I would phrase it. They have these guys, I'm speaking on behalf of, Bill Belichick. Dude, all you have to do is go up there and say Bill's name. And if somebody rolls their eyes, they should be kicked out of the voting process. That's the way I look. And I guarantee you there's some people who are probably rolling their eyes. Such a jerk. He was mean to me. He didn't have... Dude, I interviewed that guy for like 5 years. He was a jerk. And then the red light would go off, and he was a storyteller, Bill. We couldn't get him out of the studio. He just wanted to talk and chit-chat. And I'm like, we're back on air, but we don't want you back on air because you're just not going to answer any questions. But thank you for the time, right? That's Bill.
Christian Fauria joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. In a wild way, though, has this not been the best thing for Bill Belichick after the year that he's had at North Carolina with them not being successful and the girlfriend and, people were making jokes about him more and more, and now everybody's coming to his defense?
It did kind of flip on the guys that voted against him, right? It was amazing how many people, and now those are the people who I would listen to. I wouldn't listen to some writer, no offense, but actually offense. I hope they take offense. They shouldn't be voting. They shouldn't have a say. The only people who should really have a say are the people who played the game, who coach the game, who understand each person's value to that team during that time frame. It shouldn't be left to a columnist who suddenly has all this power. I just feel like it's so shameful who we rely on to determine whether or not certain people should be in the Hall of Fame or not. Because I would never begrudge Michael Strahan or, Von Miller. I would never, Reggie White hip tossed me into Chris Warren. Okay. I shouldn't hold that against him. I would just be like, this guy was one of the best. He used to freak me out every single time I played. He changed the way we called on offense. He was a force multiplier. That's what you should be talking about. He was mean to this and he did this. Okay, fine. You hear Jimmy Johnson call it coming up going, we're all doing this. We're all doing that. So I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm I get tired of defending him or yelling about the process because I have no power to change it.
Christian Fauria joining us here on the Blitz on Super Bowl Radio Row, doing a lot of work with Fantasy Spin. Now, I was getting a little demonstration from this earlier.
Yeah.
It's free, which I like, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you've listened to it, then you can hear the theme music, right? So Fantasy Spin is awesome, first of all. So everyone needs to go to fantasyspin.com right now. You guys should go to download the app and just start playing around with it because it is free. You can literally feel it out, test it out, see if you're any good at it or try to get better at it so you can win some money because you just basically pick a lineup, pick a contest. You can do a Super Bowl contest, right? And how it works is you spin it, right? And it's like a slot machine. And then all these names will come up, like Cooper Kupp comes up, Sam Darnold comes up, Drake May comes up, Diggs comes up. And then you can, if you like your options, you can pick all of them.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you want to test your luck, and think there's a better lineup coming on, well, you use a spin, and then here comes another set, a fresh set. Here comes Barner. Here comes Hunter Henry. Ooh, here comes Walker. Ooh, Trayvon Henderson. Ooh, I like Trayvon Henderson, but I don't like Walker. Oh, spin again. Right? And you keep spinning until you run out of spins, and then you set your lineup, and that's the lineup you play with that for that particular game. So it's really catchy. It's really fun. And like I said, you can bet low, you can bet high, you can go solo, you can bet in a group. It's just a really cool app for anybody, right? And I just, listen, I guarantee you, once you hear the music and you start tinkering around with fantasyspin.com, you will absolutely be hooked.
Well, and I look at, obviously for the game on Sunday, but also NBA, baseball, Spurs and Thunder are playing tonight. Now you can't get all Spurs because it depends on what the spin is. Kind of reminds me of Top Dollar, the slot machine in Vegas. Do you want this amount, or do you want to spin again and risk? You could get less, or you could get a lot more.
It is funny because if you're greedy, you'll pay the price.
We're all greedy.
Yeah, right. So, that's me. I always think I can get better, and I end up kicking myself because I should just went with my gut and picked my lineup right away. But when you have this idea, you have like 6 more spins. You're like, ooh, what's behind door number 3? Yeah. Let's go. So it's like that instant gratification. And again, like it's you can bet high, you can bet low, you can. There's so many different options. So you really have no excuse to even try it, right? Even for $1. And people love it. People are obsessed with it. We got people here that are downloading it, talking about it, and they have that theme music in their head. They just can't get it out of their head.
And again, it's free. There's a paid version as well where you can win some money. FantasySpin.com. Christian Fauria, 2-time Super Bowl champ, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks to Christian Fauria. We appreciate him stopping by, but the hits just keep on coming. Stay tuned right here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Darren Woodson. He's going to join us next here on the Blitz. First, though, I got to brag a little bit about my Kinetico Quality Water Softener. I love this thing. I really love this thing. It is a fantastic product, and it's just one of those things that you kind of look at and you look around, you see the success of it, and you pat yourself on the back. It's awesome. It's the best water softener I've ever had in any home that I've ever lived in, and I've had several. They don't compare to a Kinetico Quality Water Softener. It is the most popular water softener on the market. They've been serving San Antonio for over 50 years, and there's a reason for that. They work, and they do what they say they're going to do. And I love the fact that you don't plug this thing in, doesn't run on electricity, so obviously it doesn't add to your electric bill. Runs on that kinetic energy. I really don't know what that is. All I know is when I need soft water, it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they still have this deal going on. When you buy a Kinetico Quality Water Softener, you're going to get a free reverse osmosis drinking station that they're going to install right there at your kitchen sink. It means bottled water right there at your kitchen sink. You just turn on the tap. You don't have to buy bottled water anymore. I also want to give you some free money. That's always nice. 0% interest for 12 months. Don't wait. Call Kinetico. Treat yourself, treat your family, protect your house. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or you can get them online at KineticoSA.com. And you know the jingle, sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Kinetico.
Our AA Best Bell Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in Silicon Valley, and the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from the Bay Area. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all of the pregame excitement leading up to the superb hour. From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all. Your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from the Bay Area, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Think switching to T-Mobile's a whole complicated thing? Nah, it's easy. You could do it almost anywhere in just 15 minutes.
Even poolside like Drewski, you can switch to T-Mobile and unlock savings that are built to last. With T-Mobile's better value plan, you can save over $1,000 a year versus Verizon and AT&T. Save on streaming, satellite, and more benefits that they leave out.
Now I get all the VIP perks.
Start saving from day one, and for a limited time, get T-Mobile's better value plan.
I know you love deals.
Plus, switch right now, and we'll even pay off your old phone up to $800. What do you think of all that, Drewski?
Stay chilling, just switch it. It's better over here.
Check the math at T-Mobile.com/better value. Savings versus comparable plans at AT&T and Verizon, plus the cost of optional benefits. Plan features and taxes and fees vary. With 3+ lines of better value plan. 3+ new lines and 2 eligible ports, or 3+ lines and 5+ years on T-Mobile postpaid plan required. Qualifying credit required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Get up to $800 per line via virtual prepaid card. Typically takes 15 days after rebate submission. Qualifying unlocked device credit service ported 90+ days with device and eligible carrier, and timely redemption required. No cash access and card expires in 6 months. Card issued by Sunrise Banks N.A. member FDIC.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really helped me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1073. 800-499-1073. 800-499-1073.
Hey, it's Flo here to say drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Nice. With my new savings, I'll get some hiking gear. It'll be great for my outdoor era.
I don't know if it counts as an era if you just buy stuff.
I got a cute hiking backpack. It's an outdoor era.
Well, you only bought one thing. I don't think it's an era.
Well, I think we're in a agree to disagree era.
Yeah, sure, you're probably right. Anyway, with the money you could save by switching to Progressive, you can afford to switch to other things in life. It's
my savings era.
Also, everything you do is not an era.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention Tax Slayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. Tax Slayer, file fearlessly.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Our AA Best Bell Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Joe Reinigle in San Antonio. Jason Minix is out in San Francisco, and I'll tell you what, he's got a good one sitting there by him.
I have a great one that should have a gold jacket already. Our good friend Darren Woodson joining us here on Radio Row. And I'm just going to start there. Last year when we talked to you, I just knew you were going in, right? And you already knew. And you played it so well. I'm glad you're working with Choctaw Casino because your poker face is incredible. So knowing that this could happen again and knowing and you can't say, I don't even want to go there, man.
I'll leave it alone. Yeah, just leave it alone.
Leave it alone because I felt so bad last year. I was like, that dude knew.
Yeah. Yeah, you found out when you found out the Belichick deal. Oh, yeah, that's how you figure it. Now you're figuring, okay, guys know this. Yeah, and there's an unspoken word that you keep it quiet. And for that reason, it's you allow when the guys do get in, you allow them to enjoy that moment. You do. I mean, and that's why you kind of keep it quiet, because you don't want the media to get involved in all that. But, those that do get voted in, even though it pains you that you don't get in, you got to give them their moment. And that's just the unspoken word that we've always had.
That is fantastic, Darren, when you say that, and the respect that you have for all of the other people that are nominated. And I just love that. But, that's kind of the way you've always been, right? With a player, as a player, you are a hard-nosed player, but you care deeply for your teammates. And I just love that respect, man. Props to you.
No, I appreciate that, Joe. But, we play this game, and it's just a game, man, when you think about it. I'm a business owner and have been for the last 12 years of my life. And I've owned two businesses, a commercial real estate firm and a software company. And let me tell you, it's no different than sports. Like you build a company or you build a team, you build it on the backs of people. And most of the time they're high quality, high character people that you try to surround yourself with. And I played with some of the best. Now, I played with some dudes that were half crazy, 88 and 94, and there's a whole bunch of them that were crazy. But they're my brothers, and you do anything for them, and it's kind of the same way with the Hall of Fame. It's you played against a lot of these guys, but they're still part of this small fraternity of people, and you got to honor that.
You do. Darren Woodson joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. You do Radio Row now, and we were just talking before we came on. This room is smaller than it normally is, yes. Right? And everything with the Super Bowl seems to get bigger and bigger. Imagine what it will be like one day when the Cowboys can do something that you were fortunate enough to do. This room would explode if that were the case.
Yeah, it would. It would be. I mean, we talk about it. All the former players that play with the Cowboys organization talk about it all the time. Can imagine if the Cowboys won, who Dak Prescott and the rest of the guys would be in that area, in that DFW area, and through nationally.
Yeah,
because everyone would jump on board, and Cowboy fans would, have something to hold on to. But they haven't, and there's been multiple reasons why they haven't. I can't put my thumb on all of them because I think Jerry has done a good job of putting some teams out there that had the capabilities, but then you look at this team now in today's game, and offensively they're extremely strong, but defensively we just continue to see the warts that have plagued this team for years. They have to get better on the defensive side of the ball, and they're going to have to take it. It can't just be casual about this. They have to be intentional about getting better up front, on the front four, as far as the linebackers, the safeties up the middle of that defense. They have to get better, and I just don't think I don't think that's been their focus.
Darren, I can only imagine when you're watching a Dallas Cowboys game and you see that defense, especially that secondary, you just got to close your eyes, I would imagine, and say, oh my goodness.
Well, look, they're tasked to cover for a long time, for one. I can imagine covering for more than 3.5 seconds. That'd be tough, but it has been hard. Look, I love the game, and I love the Cowboys. That's my team, and I'm a competitor, and that hasn't changed. Even though I've retired, 20-some years ago, that has not changed. I compete in everything I do, and whether it be football and business and in life, I want to see my team be successful, and they have struggles. They have some personnel struggles, and I want them to fix those problems. I wish I could just jump in there sometimes and say, hey, look, free agency is hit. Let's get more active in free agency. They're not very active in free agency. But then the draft comes, and the draft that's the hard part. It's a hit or miss deal, but I still feel like if they're intentional about getting better up front, it's not going to be just one guy. It's going to be multiple players that they're going to bring on the defense side of the ball, and that's going to set the standard for years to come.
Darren Woodson, a legendary Dallas Cowboy, joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. The defense was so bad, right? And I can only imagine what the group texts were like with your former teammates or the conversations when you get together, because it is what it is, right? Yeah. But you keep talking about them needing to be intentional. Will McClay does a solid job in the draft. Yep. And we all know, even though he takes all the blame, Jerry doesn't just make a decision on his own, right? I mean, but they always say they're intentional with what they're doing, right? But they do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
what should they do differently this offseason?
I think you got to get started early in the process. And I know Will does a great job. Look, I've known Will McClay for years, and I know how he focuses in on personnel. And look, I'm the armchair quarterback sitting here talking about this right now. However, I do feel like when free agency starts, you have to get in front of it, and in a different sense. Just understanding of where your weaknesses are as your own team, which they do a good job of that. But pulling the trigger and bringing in a guy early on in free agency and maybe making a splash, but it just sets the tone when you go get a guy like a Charles Haley from the San Francisco 49ers and you bring him in. It sets the tone for the rest of the defensive guys that says, okay, we mean business and we're going to make a run. And now, Charles is going to, charge us to have a different mindset, crazier mindset, more focused mindset. He's not going to accept this mediocrity. You can't accept it. And I think that's the problem when I look at the Cowboys is there's an acceptance on the defensive side of just being mediocre. They got to want to be great. And they got to want to bring guys in that want to be great football players, not just football players, great football players. And that's where the intentionality, that's what I'm bringing into this, is be intentional about those guys that love the game. Because there's a lot of guys that love this game, that love to play this game. Some guys don't. I mean, let's call it what it is. You may get paid $7-8 million a year, but you really don't care about it. You're just pretty good at it. Now, I want guys that love to play. I'm looking at two teams right now, Seattle Seahawks and you're looking at the New England Patriots, and you probably can't name half the guys on those defenses. You probably can't. You can name Sam Darnold, you can JSN, you can name the guys, Walker at the running back, and then Drake May, and you name all those offensive guys. But you look on that defensive side of the ball, and you're like, okay, Milton, I know. So Gonzalez, but there's a lot of guys you probably can't even name, man. But those guys love the game, and they're playing two phases of the game. Not just lining up on the defensive side of the ball, but they're running down on special teams as well. Like, those are the guys that I want. Those are the guys, that's how you win championships. You don't just win them by splash plays and you got this certain guy that sells a ton of jerseys. You get them by guys that love to play the game. Period.
I love that, man. I love what you're saying. I'm fired up. I want to go play right now just with that speech. You should be a general manager somewhere. That's for sure.
No, so you guys can kill me. So I can have somebody. So I can have a guy like Sean Lee, who I just saw, to rail me about the decisions I'm making.
What did you think of the Christian Parker hire? Very un-Jerry-like, in my opinion.
Very much so, which I loved, actually. I loved the Christian Parker hire because this organization here, I go with this organization has always gone back to, every time there's a new defensive coordinator, there's normally a former head coach who's taking a step back and becoming defense coordinator. I like the fact that they've actually stepped outside of their little comfort zone, and they're bringing in a guy from a rival.
Yep.
That has a different mindset, and then something's going to be totally different from what they're accustomed to doing. And he's had some success in Philadelphia of knowing how to build and what a strong defense looks like. And I'm excited. I know there's probably going to be some mistakes, but man, I'm excited about the growth of Parker and what he can bring to this team. And I'm like everybody else that's a former player, and you can ask any of the guys, man, it doesn't matter. When they bring a guy in, man, you just rally behind him. You try to pour whatever they need from you. You bring it to them through the table. So hopefully this is a good hire for them.
I think you're a former player. You look at it differently. I think for fans, it's easy to rally behind Christian Parker because we don't know him. We don't know anything about him except for everybody talks great about him.
Yes.
Right? Going to be a future head coach. Hard to rally around Mike Zimmer. Hard to rally around an Eberflus. And then when you see what the product is, you go, Jerry doing what he always does.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why this is different.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works out. And it also feels like, to me anyway, this is more Brian Schottenheimer's call than maybe a Jerry call, which is also very different.
Yeah, and it has to be disruptive. Like nothing grows unless something disruptive happens, right? So this is a disruptive hire. Maybe some disruption happens when a guy like Christian Parker comes in, he looks at the personnel and he says, you know what? There's no way we win this way. let's go get so-and-so. Let's go get this guy who's a great locker room presence that I've worked with. There's so many ways to build a team. And I can remember when I played, like there were some certain guys like a Kenny Gant that I played with. Like, yeah, he ran down on special teams and he did these little things, but he was such a great locker room presence in the fact that he showed up every day. He bought into his role. He had this attitude. He loved to play the game. And those are the guys, they may not get all the limelight. They may not get the Emmett and the Troy limelight, but man, they are so integral in what you do on the football field. Daryl Johnson, another one, didn't get a whole lot of limelight. Emmett was scoring touchdown after touchdown. But that locker room does not move the same way it moved without a guy like Daryl Johnson or Ken Norton Jr. It just doesn't.
Well, I tell you what, Darren, I miss watching you knock people's heads off. Now, I miss that about the game of football, I'll be honest with you. I mean, you were one of the last headhunters, man, and guys were a little bit leery about going over the middle against you. I love that.
Yeah, thank you, man. We can't hit anybody anymore. The days of the headhunters, that's over with. That is over with.
Would you figure out a way to play in today's NFL, or would you be just like, I don't know that I could?
Yeah, well, I absolutely could. Look, I covered the slot receiver. I was the third corner when I played, and people don't realize that. For 11 years of my 12 years, I was a nickel guy. So when Steve Smith moved in and came into the slot, or Jerry Rice came into the slot, I covered him. Like, that was my job. So, hell yeah, I could play today. I can play more so than any safety. I look at a lot of these safeties that I play with. There's no way they could play today because they couldn't cover the same way. And there's a reality there. So I think that was what really, allowed me to be the player that I was. But it also hurt me as well because I was playing multiple positions and I wasn't playing in the middle of the field and getting those 40-some interceptions. I was chasing guys around in one-on-one coverage. So, that hurt me at the same time. But look, if you're talking about transitioning from one era to the next, oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that's an easy. That's what I did. That's an easy transition for me.
Oh, I love that, man. The game has changed so much, but I don't know about you, Darren. I'm excited about this matchup, and I want to hear your thoughts because everybody's picking the Seattle Seahawks to win this thing.
Oh, man.
And I don't buy it. I think the Patriots might give them some trouble.
I think absolutely. Look, first guy, the guys you got to block if you're the Seattle Seahawks, you got to block Milton Williams and Christian Barmore. You got to block them. You have no. If Seattle is looking to win the game, they have to block those two boys up front. Because what is Seattle's biggest problem? Their biggest problem offensively is they turn the ball over. Sam Darnold will throw you an interception if you put pressure in his face. He'll put the ball on the ground. Seattle cannot turn the ball over this week. They have to block the two big tackles up front to give him Darnold time to throw the ball to JSN and the weapons that he has and get Walker going at the same time. So I know everybody looks at Seattle and says they're the sexy pick, but I've watched New England the entire season, and my thoughts about New England early on was like, well, they got a soft schedule, which they did. They had a soft schedule, but this is the same team that went on the road 8 times during the regular season and won those road games. They bought into what Vrabel is talking about. That message is loud and clear. They bought into it. So it's going to be hard for me to bet against them because I've seen them overcome so much week in and week out. But, but I understand why Seattle is the favorite. I absolutely do, because if you look at them on paper, they look like the better football team.
Darren Woodson joining us here on the Blitz. Speaking of making your bets, it's a professional segue right into the work you're doing with Choctaw Casino and Resort up there.
Absolutely. It's Choctaw Casino and Resort. And if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know that if you drive down Central, for me, it's about 52 minutes if I'm timing it from my house. Most of it's about 75 to 90 minutes drive up north. It is an phenomenal casino, and not only is it a casino, they actually have a non-smoking tower that's a casino as well, so you can enjoy that. But a great steakhouse, great concert venue. I would put up the concert venue up against any venue in Texas. It is probably the best concert venue. My wife and my kids, we always go up to the resort-style pool. We have great food, and we'll go to a concert. My wife and I will go to a concert at the same time. So I tell all my friends, families, they all know that we always go up there. We get a little Sprinter van, and we go up there and enjoy the time. But if you guys are ever in Dallas, come on, let's go on up to Choctaw
and we all
Resort.
love a good casino. So you get a Southwest flight from San Antonio, land at Love Field, and it's a pretty quick drive.
It's a quick drive
up there, and you could save money. Woodson 28. You got your own promo code.
Oh, dude,
you can save 20% on your stay at Choctaw.
Yeah, man. Hey, so you know, I don't know what I know. Mine's Woodson 28. I'm sure Emmett's is Smith 22, and Troy's probably.
Yeah, but you're here, man. Woodson 28, man. You want to keep that going.
Absolutely. But hey, the partnership is not just me. It's Emmett Smith, Troy Okmin, Pudge Rodriguez. You know, we have a campaign called Where the Players Play. You'd never know who you're going to run into at Choctaw Casino. So come on up. If you guys are in the area, come on up and see us.
I'd love to go gamble with you guys. That'd be a lot of fun.
Come on, man. We got 3 championships, brother.
That's it.
We'll work something out.
Absolutely.
Man. Go to the steakhouse and go gamble. Although, as we started this conversation, your poker face, my friend. I don't know. I mean,
yeah. Well, I'm gonna enjoy it, man. I'm gonna enjoy this week. So regardless,
enjoy the week, Darren. Appreciate you stopping by. However, it's gonna work out, man. You need a gold jacket. I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. God bless y'all.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Darren.
Darren Woodson, the legend, here on Radio Row in San Francisco, getting ready for the Super Bowl. Good to go. And again, I have no idea, but you should be there. Yeah.
Well, there's no question about it. He should be there. Should have gotten in last year. He certainly should get in this year. The guy needs a gold jacket. Because, again, I mean, when you look at a guy like Darren Woodson, Minix, you know this, and there were other players. Brian Dawkins, Eagle fan, reminds us of, and some of the other headhunters that were out there. Ronnie Lott comes to mind. Those guys need to be Hall of Famers because football is not played that way anymore. And the way they played football, second to none. And they deserve a gold jacket. And certainly Darren Woodson does. That's for sure. We'll find out tomorrow. Huh? Yep, absolutely. Tomorrow we will find out. We got a lot more to do as we continue our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage, big game coverage, if you will, as we prepare for that big game on Sunday. Keep it right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're looking for TRT, you don't want to pay hundreds or settle for low-dose TRT. You need to get into Synergenics and Low T Center, where they're going to take, they do take most insurance plans, and more importantly, everything is customized for you for maximum safe results. You don't want to compromise on your health. Synergenics and Low T Center, they've been highlighted for having the highest quality testosterone on the market. They don't only use pharmaceutical-grade testosterone, never compounded. You know exactly what you are getting and what is going in your body. And the T-test is absolutely free. So get into Synergenics and Low T Center. They have an on-site lab, so you get your results in about 20 minutes. And you meet with their providers, all of which are board-certified and experts in their field. Not some random chatbot or a provider that you will never actually see. They have also a variety of peptides to help with healing, muscle tone recovery, sleep, weight loss, and even hair and skin quality. And right now, you can save $50 per vial for select peptides and GLP-1s. So book that free testosterone test and pick up discounted peptides and GLP-1s while you are there. Get started. Go to lowtcenter.com or synergenics.com and get started with that free T-test today.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game continues next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The Gomez Law Firm is the firm that San Antonio turns to for personal injury law. We have Jose from the Gomez Law Firm here with us. With over 1,200 five-star Google reviews, the Gomez Law Firm is proud of the winning record and results that are attached to these reviews.
We encourage people to go online and look at our review because we want to make sure that you feel comfortable choosing the right attorney. And we assure you, you go to Google and look up our reviews, you're going to be satisfied.
It's important to hire an attorney you can trust, and the reviews speak for themselves. The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted provider of personal injury law since 1973.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
The Gomez Law Firm continues to fight for our San Antonio community, and the results matter. If you've been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then contact them today at joegomezlaw.com. That's joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Monday, March 30th at the Golf Club of Texas. Get your slot now. $150 per person or $500 per foursome. The Spring Golf Classic, benefiting fitting animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, is presented by Flight by Yingling, sponsored in part by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. The Spring Golf Classic, Monday, March 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com. Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Oh, it is a hump day, and we are having a lot of fun on this hump day with our big game coverage live from Radio Row in San Francisco. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Ryan-Eagle, holding down the fort in San Antonio. Jason Minix is in San Francisco, having all the fun, but that's all right. Great talking with Darren Woodson, and if you missed that, you don't want to miss it. The guy is fantastic. the energy he brings, Minix, is just incredible.
Well, it is, and I know he doesn't want to coach, and he runs a couple of businesses, and you think about people in leadership roles in management that run stuff, and you can understand why he has been more successful off the field than on. And on the field, he had a Hall of Fame worthy career. Whether he gets that gold jacket this week or not remains to be seen. And man, I hope, because next year is his last year of eligibility before he then gets kicked up to the whole senior level thing. And we have seen this week how difficult it is from that committee because of the way they have it set up. And, all the voters say it's a big part of the process that they have to follow from the Hall of Fame. When you get the 3 players, the contributor, and the coach, and so you got 5 people that have to get 40 of the 50 votes, but you can only vote for up to 3.
Yeah, that's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. And Shereen Williams was talking about that and complaining about that. It needs to be fixed, and I wish it would be. Because a guy like Darren Woodson, he's another guy. If he's not going to get it, who is? And what a class act, too, because he knows whether he got in or not. He already knows that. But he's not going to say a word out of respect for everybody else that will get in. And I just love that. I mean, you talk about a class act. There's none better.
Absolutely. And again, I think, Thursday night, which is tomorrow, when the Hall of Fame class is announced, that senior candidate, Roger Craig, if that's who it ends up being, he will get celebrated, but there won't be anything talked about with him that doesn't include Bill Belichick or Robert Kraft not getting in. And that's unfortunate. And I appreciated Darren saying, I'm not saying anything out of respect to the guys. I don't want to take away from their moment.
Absolutely. And again, just a class act. And it's always a lot of fun talking with Darren Woodson and all the ex-Cowboys. Michael Irvin scheduled to be with us tomorrow, Emmitt Smith on Friday. And it's always cool to talk to the champion Cowboys.
Those with rings.
Well, those with rings. And I saw our good friend Sam in the hallway a minute ago, and I told him we talked with Darren Woodson, and he goes, now, wait a minute. Now, Sam's a younger guy, so I forgive him on this whole thing. And he's like, did he play for Pittsburgh? And I said, Sam, what the hell are you talking about? I said, he was a Dallas Cowboys entire career, and he was back with those championship teams of the 90s. And I said, maybe you don't remember those guys? It has been 30 years after all.
Well, it has been. And, of course, the great Arizona State Sun Devil is Darren Woodson. And, it is unfortunate, as you say that. Let me gather my thought here. It's been 30 years since the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. And you've got a guy who's up for the Hall of Fame in Darren Woodson, who, for a certain generation of fans, don't know him. And Emmitt, Michael, Troy, because they're on TV all the time. And quite honestly, I can relate to for a long time, I didn't realize John Madden was the great coach that he was because they only knew him from television. So when you start talking about players that played for those Cowboy championship teams in the early 90s, 30 some odd years ago, the idea that, with the exception of a select few who maintain their presence in the media and household name, if you will, otherwise, I could see where a guy like Darren Woodson wouldn't know who that is. And while that's unfortunate, you go back because they won rings, but, there are probably people that don't know who some of the great Spurs were before Tim Duncan was winning championships. You go, Sean Elliott, if he wasn't on TV all the time, every night, and didn't have the Memorial Day Miracle, would he be as popular as, say, a Willie Anderson, who there's people that probably wouldn't know who that is, or Rod Strickland, or you see what I mean? That really is kind of unfortunate now that you say that. You're bringing down the room.
Jason, I don't know about you, but I would turn over my left shoulder, and you're going to be surprised. We're already having comments on our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube page about the shininess that was walking behind you just a few minutes ago. Kind of hoping that was maybe, I don't know, the next guest.
No. You're talking about the one in the gray?
Yeah, well, a very short skirt, which was very, very appropriate.
Yeah, I got to say, you say short skirts, I see 7 within eye shot of me
really?
right now. Yeah.
Dang, see that? You get all the good assignments, my friend.
Well, it's the restraining orders, man.
Is that what it is?
I mean, that's what.
Well, you know what?
I saw Annie Agar earlier today. It's like, where's Joe? He didn't come. She said, well, I understand. And that's all she said.
Hey, it's not me with her that's got the restraining order. It was a guy that used to work here, man. He was stalked her like crazy.
Well, that part is true.
Yes.
But she thinks you're him.
No, well, I hope not. A little taller and a hell of a lot better looking than that guy.
Well, that is true.
No doubt about it.
That is true. The randomness of things that happen on Radio Row. I just met a guy named Michael Ravina who used to work for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He now works for the Golden State Warriors. So, obvious. I should have went to the Golden State game last night, far better than that media party. But he brought me a gift, and I'm trying to figure out. He brought me Steph Curry's book. You know how heavy this book is? No idea. And what else did he? What else is in this bag?
Nice.
Something about the WNBA.
Dude, that looks like an encyclopedia, for goodness sake.
Dude, I'm worried about my luggage being too heavy because of that book and a great journal. But very cool of him. He knows our boss and somehow managed to get onto Radio Row, but unloaded his cabinet here and is going to weigh down the suitcase on the way back. But I'm actually very interested in reading the Steph Curry book.
Yeah, that's got to be interesting. Steph Curry is the man. By the way, the Warriors lost last night, so it's a good thing you didn't go. It kind of brought down the room, but it would be fun. I know a lot of people were going, weren't they? There were a few.
There were a lot of people were talking about it, but it was more, the media party at EA, the campus of EA, everybody was very excited to go. And again, I'm not mad at EA because the host committee rents out, but I'm sure EA hosts all kinds of things in this space that we were in last night. But when you think about what media parties typically are, it's almost like a taste of whatever that city is. The food is incredible and the activities are very relevant to the city that you're in and lots of stuff to do and lots of fun. This was there were 2 different spaces. It was the EA cafeteria, and it felt like it was the EA cafeteria food with some pizzas and the sliders, which were good. They had the shrimp thing, but for the most part, it was nothing what you would expect. And then the lines were so long, the room was not near big enough for what you could do. They had this EA's got a football field outside. Nothing was going on out there. There was and no video games. There was a handful of areas where you could play games, but again, the people that were waiting to play the video games, who wants to wait in a line for that? I got 1 beer there last night. Then the bar lines were so damn long. We're looking around. It was hot as hell in there, and it was like, let's get out of here. And so we Ubered at 8:30. The shuttle buses to leave didn't even start till 9. Like, now we'll Uber. Screw it.
Well, Minix, obviously, it's obvious to me with the convention center you're in now, the party last night, San Francisco's got a real issue with size. They're not very big. And maybe they're a little bit bitter about that. I don't know.
It's of all the Super Bowls that I've been to, this one right now. Now, again, it's only Wednesday. They could change, but right now, even compared to the last Super Bowl here, which was a blast, this one, very low on the list of you guys did this right.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, I'll give New Orleans a lot of credit. They did it right. It was a lot of fun. And so, yeah, as hard as that is for me to say, and I would have really thought San Francisco would have done a much better job, but maybe it'll get better. It is just hump day, my friend, so who knows? All right, we're going to come back. The hits keep coming because we've got a special guest coming up. Westwood 1's Laura Okmin is going to join us, and I know you know that name because she's been there. She's been at other places, been in the media for a long, long time, and she's doing some great stuff for women trying to get into the media and other places. We're going to talk to Laura when we continue here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your heater, your AC, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899. 651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. So call them 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Riding I-10 with the Blitz.
Well, the Spurs return to action tonight. They're going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder, or a version of the Thunder. All 5 starters for Oklahoma City will not play tonight. Now, for the Spurs, Steph Castle and Dylan Harper, they are listed as questionable. Tip-off from inside the Frost Bank Center, 8:30. Big trade today. Anthony Davis, no longer a Dallas Maverick. He has been shipped off to the Washington Wizards. Hey, that's right. It is a hump day.
Hump day.
And we're having a great time on this hump day. So happy that you stopped by to spend some time with us right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle here in San Antonio. Jason Minix is out on Radio Row in San Francisco. A lot of activity happening behind you, Mr. Minix, and the buzz is just getting louder and louder and louder.
And a lot of activity behind me. I don't know. I'm just seeing what's going on in front of me, and it's our setup. We are kind of in the middle of this convention center here in San Francisco, but right on the main walkway. So everybody is walking by, and we're waiting for Laura Okmin to show up. She'll appear at any moment is kind of what happens out of this sea of people, and then boop. Somebody will arrive and show up. But we were talking about this week getting better, and it may have. And now we're going to dinner tonight. We're going to this great fancy steakhouse, but after dinner, I have no idea. Rob Thompson's probably going to go to sleep. But we just got invited to the Shannon Sharp party tonight that goes until 1 a.m.
Well, I know Rob's not going to make that.
No, Rob's not going to make that.
No, he won't make that.
Rob is a true pro. 10 o'clock hits, and he's like, all right, I got to go.
Well, dude gets up at 2. I mean, it's not like he's doing that to be a wimp. A guy gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning to get to work to start a show at 4 a.m. So I got to give Rob a little bit of credit, a little bit of a break there. My goodness.
Oh, stop. I mean, Rob left here, at 9:30? He's probably been asleep since, or 10:30. He's probably been asleep since 10:30. I mean, he sleeps during the day and then naps at night. It's Super Bowl week. You got to go. The hell with sleep.
Yeah, coming from a guy that gets a full 8 hours. That's easy for you to say.
8 hours. I don't know that I'm getting a full 8 hours. Although when you wake up at 7 here, you feel refreshed because that's like waking up at 9. Ain't nothing changed for me.
Isn't that the truth? It's crazy. I like stuff out on the West Coast for us. Now, for Rob and AJ, it's not the same because they do have to start early. They like going east better than heading west.
Although, since AJ has been a part of our radio station, there's been nothing east outside of Army-Navy. In fact, next year's Super Bowl is in Los Angeles. 2 years from now, it's in Atlanta. So, ultimately we'll see when that happens. I'm not sure if Laura's going to make it or not until then. Let's talk about the NBA trade deadline and the fact that the Spurs haven't done anything yet. And that's not surprising, but we don't even hear the Spurs being talked about a lot other than what they might do in dumping a little bit of salary for Jeremy Sohan.
Well, I mean, that is it. And I did see a tweet a minute ago, and I can't remember who it was from. It was one of the people the Spurs that covers the Spurs and a reliable person, but they're having a hard time unloading Sohan. Apparently the interest is not there. Either that or the Spurs don't like what they're going to get in return. So I think it's just a business decision on the Spurs' part and whomever they're trying to trade Sohan to.
Well, and I do wonder if that's the case. If they can't find anything for him, will they end up buying him out and just letting him go? The only other one, and again, I'm with you, and Wi-Fi is a little slow right now, but apparently Kelly Olynyk could be in his expiring deal, there could be some movement there. Outside of that, I'm not seeing anything involving the Spurs, and I still want them to add a sharpshooting 3-and-D type, or another big.
Well, we'll see what happens. We still have maybe a little less than 24 hours now before the trade deadline ends. Big day today, though, as you mentioned. I mean, I guess the biggest name to leave was Anthony Davis. The Mavericks have traded him to the Washington Wizards. According to The Athletic, it's a horrible trade for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm not sure why, because not only they trade away a guy that didn't play a whole heck of a lot for them, D'Angelo Russell is gone as well. Two others. All to the Washington Wizards. For Chris Middleton, who I think is a solid player, Malachi Branham, former Spur, two other players they get. But here's the best part about that. They get 2 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks.
I'm looking at that, and I'm just trying to figure out the grade disparity. I'm with you. Other than this kind of circles back to you got rid of Luka, and ultimately the guy you traded Luka for doesn't even last a year. And we'll continue the conversation coming up in a moment. But we've got royalty joining us here now.
Royalty, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely,
yes.
Laura Okmin. Radio Row for you.
Yeah.
Laura, how crazy is it?
It's such a buzz. Like, I love this. I still do. And especially the COVID years of missing it and being like, oh, the good old days. And when it was so tight and crowded. So I think I'm still so appreciative right now of, one, how much it's grown. And also, I remember my first radio row I went to, and I counted women because I could.
Yeah.
And so the difference of now never being able to, every table, there's a wonderful woman that I'm looking at. So I'm at that age of appreciation and also looking around to see how much it's changed. Aren't you there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, although this year, this room is so much smaller.
Tighter. Yeah.
And they've got so many stations doubled up, which makes it even more difficult because we all have a lot more equipment than we did years ago. So it's twofold and like, what the hell's going on?
And also, because you're right, the equipment, and
Can you
now
pull
it's,
that a little bit up.
Sorry, it's like I've never had a headset. Also, you're right. Like it's not just the headsets. Everyone's going to have a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going to have 2 or 3. So it's so much more. I don't know if that's part of the conversation or not. We make do. We make do.
Yeah, no doubt. Hi, Laura. I'm Joe. I'm back in San Antonio. It's good to see you.
What's happening?
I know. It's like, who is this? Who is a strange voice in my ear? Who is that?
What's happening? Hi, Joe.
Hi, Laura. It's good to talk to you. You're a true veteran of Super Bowls. 18 Super Bowls you've covered as part of your career. When you talk about the Super Bowl, you guys talked about Radio Row and how big it's gotten. The Super Bowl has just exploded, has it not?
Yeah, and honestly, you're probably reading an old bio. I'm probably closer to 25 Super Bowls now. Now, I've called the last 6 or 7, but like being a part of them probably for like 25. And yes, like it's all, this world has changed so much. But what's cool, Joe, again, in my appreciation era, is like you just kind of pick up and see people that like now it's like you see every year, and some of us who've seen each other for decades, and there's such a cool thing of we're still doing this and that we're still a part of this. And it's almost, this is so horrible to say, it's almost like the 2 teams playing are just kind of background, right? Like it's our lives and the people that we know and the people we continue to see. So I'm so grateful for all of these and how much it's changed, seeing the different people represented in here, all of it. But yeah, like it's such a special week.
Well, and Laura, as you get ready for the broadcast on Sunday, what are some of the storylines that you are going to be assigned to cover?
I'm the only sideline reporter down there. So, I mean, my most important thing really is making sure that I'm on top of everything with weather. Like, we don't know what's going on with weather. And I've been in some bad weather games in the stadium and knowing that field. So injuries and weather, I feel like, if you talk to me in the regular season, I'd be like, here's my 8 storylines. I'm so excited to share with you about the quarterback's adversity and obviously in Sam Darnold. And here's some great things I love with Mike Vrabel, which I have many. but I think I have to remind myself sometimes also of what this game is, what it means, and making sure I kind of, like go to the basics on this one and go, what do I need to say? When do I need to say it? And making sure I'm on top of everything going on injury wise, weather wise, anything like that, sideline wise. I love these two teams. They're so connected. I love the chemistry. Sam is very different than Drake, and I like that, and I know very much how different they are on the sideline and how they talk to each other. And so I probably am mostly about the X's and O's of sideline basics, of making sure I don't miss a thing. And also, I'm a big energy reporter. I'm really big on momentum. And these days it feels like that's such a huge component of these big games, doesn't it?
You know what, Laura, it really does. And you look at a Super Bowl, and look, I just want a good game. We cover the Dallas Cowboys. We're their affiliate in San Antonio. Obviously, they're not there and haven't been there for a long time. So, we don't really have a dog.
You have to get that in, don't you?
Yes.
We
30 years.
We don't really have a dog in the hunt, other than I'm happy about Seattle and New England, because nobody had these two teams meeting this week in San Francisco or Santa Clara. And that's what the beauty of it is. Two teams that are fresh, and I think it's going to be a pretty good football game.
I do too. And I said this on a Seattle station just now, and I shouldn't have, but they asked me about the game, and I was like, I'm sorry. It was Boston, of all places to say this on, but I said, and like on paper, it should be Seattle, right? And they're all like, no. But it was like, I apologize, but these are two teams that are big on culture, and we overuse that word these days, and we're not patient with anybody to build that or sustain that. And the fact that Mike Vrabel can do this in his first year and take over a team that won 4 games, 2 straight seasons, and Mike McDonald to just look like a seasoned vet. And it's so much about the connection both coaches have built with the team connected to each other and with how they are connected to the team. And there's something really cool when teams play like that, when it's like truly the team that usually won, where you're just like, well, here's the really talented team, and then this one you just can't count out. And I feel like that with both of these teams.
Laura Okmin joining us here on the Blitz. She will be on the broadcast Sunday, which you can listen to here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Westwood 1. But, and that's the job, right? But the passion, Galvanize, which is an incredible organization that you founded. And as a girl dad, this is awesome.
I love that you say that. I'll always say I had so much passion for my job for so long, and then my purpose was Galvanize, and that changed my life, right? Like that just added a whole layer that I needed. But I'm here for the 4th year, and each Super Bowl, I'll bring a team of 5 to 7 women, and they're in front of the camera, they're behind the camera, they're all different ages. But I know when I covered my first Super Bowl, I believe it was in 1992, I was woefully ill-prepared. I didn't have a kind support staff. I for sure counted women. There weren't many of us, and I was in over my head, and it was a horrible experience. And my confidence was shot from that Super Bowl, not for the week, for a long time after, long time. And so there's nothing I love more during this week to give these women a really cool, safe space. Keep telling them, don't make these all perfect interviews. Like fail. You're being coached. Learn. But it really has been such a joy creating it. I started it 15 years ago, and it really was just seeing women getting thrown into these jobs, which was awesome because I hadn't seen women before, but I saw how much they weren't prepared for it. And I saw the confidence rocking that was happening to them. And I just kept saying, how can I help? How can I help? And it's been 15 years and over 5,000 women later. And I'm really proud of it. And I love this week because it's calling the biggest game. And I'm really grateful for that. But to spend my whole week helping them get ready for covering, a week like this, it balances me. It's a great balance of calling an incredible game and a very big personal moment to just knowing, hopefully, that I've done this for a lot, I don't know. I've done it long enough to know that so many other things have come out of this besides just, calling Super Bowls.
Well, I tell you what, you're doing a great job, and you have persevered, Laura, and I think you're the perfect person to help women get into this business and help them to succeed? Because I can only imagine when you first started, it wasn't easy for you, but you're talented enough that you persevered through that, and here you are today.
Thanks, Joe. What I would say is it's the preparation, right? Like I am, as a woman 30 plus years ago, you were quizzed on everything. You were tested on everything. And so at the time, my questions weren't very good because they were longer than the answers because I had to prove myself. So everything was prove it. And it was really hard. And so I just always think, what would I have done if I had confidence early on in my career? But I had confidence in my preparation, and I had confidence in working harder than anyone and making sure that no one could ever question. I knew what I was talking about because everybody was questioning if I knew what I was talking about. And so I didn't find my confidence till I was 40, not a minute earlier. But if I can help young women and women find their confidence at 18 or 28 or 38, talk about a privilege if I can be a part of that.
Well, and what you're doing on the broadcast professional side, obviously you're top notch. What you're doing there with Galvanize is incredible. Laura, I know you got to run. They're giving us the rap signal.
You got the rap.
Yeah, got the rap signal.
Yeah.
Got the rap. Have fun on Sunday.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the kindness. I so appreciated this.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Laura
you.
Okmin here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, and that Galvanize organization, Joe, as you know, we've talked with Laura about it before. It really is incredible, and seeing what they have set up here on Radio Row, it really is neat that she does that.
And it's really cool. And when you look at the logo, GAL, G-A-L, is capitalized as in galvanized. And so it is all about women and having them succeed. And what a better teacher than Laura Okmin. I mean, she's done it all. She's seen it all. And well, I tell you what, if I was a young lady wanting to get into the sports business, I'd certainly look her up. That is for sure.
Absolutely. And for the record, I'm going to save my teammate Joe Reinagle here. The bio that Westwood One sent us,
yes,
is that's where you got that. That wasn't some old Wikipedia. That was literally on an email that our friends at Westwood One sent us at 3:40 this afternoon.
I'm looking at it now. It says 18 Super Bowls, and well, she corrected me really quick and said no, 25, dude. What are you looking at?
Yeah. Thanks, Westwood One.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all for that.
That was not on Reinagle for lazy research.
Well, thank you, Minix, for having my back there. I appreciate it. Hey, we had a chance to talk with the Cowboys' #1 wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, and it was a great interview. So we thought, well, if you missed it before, you'd want to hear it now. I love that, and I love what he had to say today. It was very entertaining. CeeDee Lamb will join us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And, of course, all week here in San Francisco, it is truly about football's biggest game, which is this Sunday. You want to get in on all the action, win some money, you can certainly do that on Underdog. And, of course, you can do it in Texas. Right now, it's a great time to jump on Underdog if you haven't done so already. New customers score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. And it's easy. You just head to the app, make picks on if a player will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receiving yards, touchdown passes, that sort of thing. Get them all right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And there's new promos dropping daily in the app. So if you like making picks and winning money, and we all do, Underdog is the place to be for the big game. And I talk about some of those promos. I got a promo today. I was able to take Cooper Kupp's receiving yards at 0. So I know that one is going to turn green. Will the rest of my entries turn green? And I'll win a bunch of money. Kenneth Walker, how's he going to be on rushing yards? 74.5. Is he going to be lower or higher? JSN in his receiving yards. Drake May in his rushing yards is one that I keep watching. It's so much fun to play. So download the Underdog app today. Use promo code STAR to score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play your first $5 on fantasy. That's promo code STAR at Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More behind-the-scenes access is coming up next on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway. Predict the exact score of the big game in Santa Clara, California, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com. The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Dietz Tractor. Score big with Dietz Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hello, this is Jason Thompson, and as you know, I've been practicing law here in San Antonio for more than 30 years, helping people and families injured in traffic collisions. So I'm often asked, what is the worst thing you can do after a traffic collision? And the answer is easy. That's trying to handle it on your own without an attorney. Insurance companies have spent billions perfecting their strategy of paying nothing or as little as they can get away with. It wouldn't be David versus Goliath. It would be David versus a million Goliaths. You have no chance. Using AI for help is even worse because AI routinely gives dangerously inaccurate legal advice. It is laughably bad on the law. So bad that a lawyer filing a document drafted by AI will likely be disbarred in Texas. Keep it simple. Just call me. My name is Jason Thompson. I'll give you a free review of your case with no obligation to hire me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com. That's alawyerforus.com.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
From 30 for 30 Podcasts.
Did you say someone got shot?
Brian Pata, senior defensive lineman from Miami, gunned down.
The key to this case, it's Brian. An hour before he died, he was on the phone arguing with somebody.
This might be a hit.
You want the truth. They just want a conviction.
Been placed under arrest.
We had a killer amongst us.
Murder at the U, coming soon.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is back. Round up your foursome, your work crew, your weekend golf buddies, even the ladies, and get ready for a fun, laid-back day at the Golf Club of Texas. Monday, March 30th. Lock in a team for just $500 for a foursome, or jump in solo for $150 per player and spend the day talking trash, crushing drives, and laughing your way around the course. This isn't a stuffy golf club tournament. It's golf the way it should be. The Spring Golf Classic benefits feeding animals at no-kill shelters across Texas, so you're having a great time for a great cause. Presented by Flight by Yingling and sponsored by Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, and Ancira.com. And when the last putt drops, the day is just getting started. Join us for the after party at the 90 Proof Bar at Lucky Ranch Road and Highway 90. Cold drinks, great food, and all the post-round storytelling you can handle. So pick your tee, claim your spot, and tee up with San Antonio's Sports Star. Sign up your foursome now at sasportstar.com. Our AA Best Bell Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Welcome back to the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle here in San Antonio. Let's head back out to San Francisco where Jason Minix is standing by. Jason.
Well, with a great special guest, CeeDee Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys with USAA rolling around Radio Row. You played in the Pro Bowl yesterday, man. Tell me what that experience was like.
It's a great experience, man. Just being with the guys from different teams that you compete against. Obviously, you see in a different light, but together, well, yesterday we were all on the same team. So I feel like overall it was a good time, good bonding moment for us. I enjoyed each and every bit of it, and obviously we came out with the dub.
You know, CD, it's funny because watching that thing last night, you guys were having a lot of fun, man. It just looked like you guys just wanted to go out there, have some fun, float around, make some plays, and just have some fun.
Right, that's all it's all about, man. I think people forget, like, the game that we play is all from when we're a kid, and I feel like us as grown men now, in the situation and the realm that we're in a realm of seriousness and competitiveness, that we kind of forget, like, to be a kid again and have fun and do what you love and just embrace it all.
You know, CD, when you say that, and I can imagine when you're playing there, you're with the guys, it's flag, it's entertaining. You know, a lot of fans, media, like, what is this? You know, the Pro Bowl used to be, you know, this special deal, and then there was no contact. But as a player, it's still a cool honor and a cool experience, right?
Absolutely. I do understand where they're coming from, though, because, like, I mean, you got all of the best athletes in our sport today doing it, like, playing in one game. So you want to see overly competitive, you know, and just a different game. But I feel like in a situation like this, I mean, someone got hurt in the Pro Bowl. Granted, no, I don't wish that on anybody. Yeah. But, like, you know, you have to be some type of careful. Like, I feel like we got to be a little more serious, which I agree on. But, like, I mean, it's flag. How much more serious do you want to get? So at this point, I feel like just really competing and building that bond with each and everybody that's around, whether you're on the same team or if you're not, meeting families. I mean, we're staying in the same hotel. Everyone is. So I feel like to what extent, you know, just build, again, you got to have fun with this.
Yep.
No doubt. Now, CD, I know that next year you don't want to be playing in that Pro Bowl game. You want to be playing in the game that's coming up on Sunday. The offense for the Cowboys this year was sensational. You guys were rolling, putting points up on the board. We all know what happened this season. What do you guys need to do to take that next step, CD?
We got to play complimentary ball. Like when our defense wasn't as good as we expect, honestly. But I will say, when they had their moments, we didn't capitalize on the offensive end. And I feel like that's the part that's going to kind of eat at us until next year, because knowing that when we have our opportunities and we didn't take them, that's kind of where you got to bite the bullet and look yourself in the mirror. And I feel like that's what we got to do. I mean, we look good on paper, and we've had a lot of highs on offense, but I feel like once we lock in and just continue to be ourselves and always be the same people in the same offense every single time, that's when we'll be great.
CeeDee Lamb joining us here on the Blitz, and you think about how explosive that offense was, Super Bowl caliber.
Right.
And the defense struggled. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat that. Right. How difficult is it in the locker room not looking at that side saying, come on, dudes, we should be winning more games?
I mean, it's honestly it's all about building that confidence, because, I mean, we're going to deal with them. We're going to be with them for the next 16 or how many ever games left, right? So just building that confidence, like, man, don't we all see what's going on, right? But, like, I don't care what it is. Just give me your best right now. Whatever your best looks like right now, let me get that. And I feel like that's the conversation that's going on in the locker room, because guys are here for a reason. And it's like, just be yourself, man. It don't matter what's going on. Do what got you here. Like, I do my best to instill the confidence within these guys, because when you're playing good, it's easy to build that confidence. It's easy to just, all right, bro, you remember what you did last week, okay? So, like, and then you build off that. But, like, when things are bad, that's when you find the true character and the true player that you are to really just overcome things. I mean, offensively, I've dealt with some things that I wasn't my best, but I knew that I knew who I was. I looked myself in the mirror, and I went out there and balled.
You know, CD, let's talk a little bit about what's going to be the conversation of the offseason, and that's going to be George Pickens. And will he come back? How will he come back? And all of that. That's the business side of it. Take care of itself. When he came in, what did you think of you two together? Did you feel like that helped your game, having a guy of that caliber on the other side?
I just knew it was going to be fireworks. Immediately once I found out, I want to say a week before, I knew it was going to be fireworks. I had no doubt in my mind. I knew he was going to come here and be dominant. I knew he was going to come here and be the receiver that I knew I needed. I knew he was going to be the receiver that we needed overall as a team, you know, and he came in here, did just that. I was so excited to see. I hate that I missed 3 to 4 games with him, maybe 5, because I missed 2 half games. I hurt the Lions, missed the Bears, and the list goes on and on. But it's not about me; it's about GP and everything that he's done up to this point. I feel like it's been amazing, man. He's a great talent.
With the contract with him, whether he gets tagged or he gets a long-term deal, I'm curious because and I hate talking about other people's money, but right. The ego. Would you be all right if he ended up with a contract making a couple dollars more than you?
Man, I don't care about that. I just want my man to get what he's deserving. As for me, I know I'm good. I'm fine. Me and my family, we're straight, and I just want to compete at the highest level, and I want to compete for a ring. The money will come if you play good. So just play good and let everything else take care of itself. So as for GP, he's well deserving, man. He deserves everything, every penny that he gets. And if he gets more than me, I'm gonna congrats him on that. And again,
then give him the dinner bill.
I won't feel. Yes, he's getting every dinner bill for sure. The first one. For sure.
CD Lamb joining us here on the Blitz on Radio Row, doing a lot of great work with our friends from USAA. Tell us about the experience you're working with USAA on.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to announce that I'm a proud partner with USAA and Salute to Service to give 2 tickets to a proud veteran for 14 years. He did. Sergeant Farrell, to be exact, and his wife. Invite them to the Super Bowl. Hope they have a great time, and I'm going to be able to sit down, meet with them, have a great conversation. Really just kind of open up in that department. So as for me, it's just really just connecting with these guys and his family and just being there.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate what you're doing with the veterans, with USAA, and man, I hope one day that I get to see you play in a Super Bowl, my friend.
I would love to.
Appreciate you. CD, thank you, sir.
Thank you, CD. CD Lamb, the Cowboys' #1 wide receiver. It was good to talk to him today. And I tell you what, you guys have got a guy, Jason, who really has his head on his shoulders, man. I mean, he said all the right things about George Pickens making more money than him, about, we just got to come together. He wasn't going to throw the defense under the bus. I mean,
He's grown and matured.
Good dude.
He is grown and matured. And the George Pickens answer, no hesitation. To me, he said all the right things, but it was the lack of hesitation, especially when it comes to money. And you do hate talking about other people's money in front of them, right? I mean, but their contracts are public, and we all know that does go on in locker rooms, and they're competitive at everything, including how much their paycheck is. So, but the lack of hesitation, I think, all right, that's not just word salad from CD Lamb. He believes that.
Well, we'll see what happens if the Cowboys do extend George Pickens, and it's a couple bucks more than what CD Lamb makes. Going to be interesting to see. And again, another interesting offseason when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. It has been an interesting day on Radio Row, that is for sure, and we're not done yet. We got a lot more to do before we wrap things up, so keep it right here. This is The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, because of course you do. The best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service, and they are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas. Services nationwide. License number 149, whether you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at bestbailbonds.com.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds radio row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. More wall-to-wall coverage leading up to Sunday's big game.
Love Prize Picks because if my guy is winning, I can cash out early. That's one of the best things about Prize Picks is they take care of you from beginning to end. Prize Picks offers 2,000 times your cash. I've heard all different numbers, not 2,000 from other places. So when it comes down to the big game, and it could be that big game or any big game, Prize Picks makes it a big game. Download the app, use the code Alamo, and use some big free money to play the big game. Prize Picks, let me tell you how good it feels because it feels so good to be right.
All Americans should do what they can to prepare for the future. Donald Trump Jr. here with an important message. More and more Americans are looking for ways to diversify their hard-earned money, and gold is the perfect solution. For example, a gold IRA from my trusted friends at the Birch Gold Group lets you diversify your IRA or 401k into physical gold with zero taxes and zero penalties. You stay in control with a tangible asset that's held value for thousands of years. And right now, Birch Gold is offering a free info kit to help you understand how it works. Just text the word SECURE, SECURE, to 989898. There's no pressure, no obligation, just the facts. You can't predict the future, but you can be prepared, but only if you educate yourself. So take that first step right now. Text SECURE to the number 989898 today. That's SECURE to 989898.
You know, the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Order Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue for your big game watch party. For a limited time, the rib pack is available just for the big game with 3 pounds of mouth-watering ribs and home-style sides of your choice. Feed your crowd with game day favorites. For 26 years, Smoky Mo's has created craft-level barbecue with great neighborhood value. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue served fast and friendly with 8 convenient locations in San Antonio. Stop by or order Smoky Mo's for pickup or delivery at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive home and auto bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states or situations.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the big game in Silicon Valley. And the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from the Bay Area. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all of the pregame excitement leading up to the superb Owl. From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all. Your AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from the Bay Area, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Bringing it back on a Wednesday. Very happy that you decided to spend some time with us on this Wednesday afternoon. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle here in San Antonio. Jason Minix is out in San Francisco. Radio Row coverage continues courtesy of AA Best Bail Bonds. And Jason, I know there's a lot going on out there. We had a lot of special guests. We got a lot more tomorrow. But the NBA has kind of taken over today in a lot of ways with the trade deadline. Anthony Davis, the headliner, leaving Dallas, going to the Washington Wizards. And the fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder have no starters playing tonight against the Spurs.
Which is such a letdown, because especially with this game on national TV tonight, they can't be thrilled with Oklahoma City's decision to basically sit everybody on the second night of a back-to-back on the road in a nationally televised game. SGA's hurt. Everybody else, I'm sure they'll get a strongly worded email from the commissioner, but all I know is the Spurs can't lay an egg tonight. The Spurs mentally, I'm seeing people on social. I got cheap Spurs tickets. I don't want to go to this crap tonight. Late start and nobody's playing. The Spurs can't have that attitude. They just need to go in and kick ass and get another win. They cannot afford a loss tonight.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I checked, Minix, and the Spurs are favored by 9.5 tonight. So and obviously there's a reason for that because nobody's playing for Oklahoma City, and I just wonder, they should cover that spread. They really should cover that thing, and I just don't know if they're going to be able to at this point in time. Now, as it stands right now, Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper both listed as questionable, although Harper is available, according to this, but both questionable. We'll see what happens. Hell, if you're Mitch Johnson, I would think if those guys have any questions at all, you sit them down, and you should still be able to beat this team.
Should. I almost think about a different approach. Players play, and if there's something real, then all right, maybe. But I want a guaranteed win. And if I start playing, all right, we won't need him against him. We won't need him. You might be setting yourself up for failure, because this would be a great, all right, let's get Wemby a rest game. Well, Wemby doesn't have a lot of games left that he could afford to just sit out. But I'm with you. Build a big lead and then get those guys some rest and make sure that big lead doesn't go away, especially in the third quarter, which we know the Spurs typically will let a big lead go away in the third quarter. This team just has such a habit this year of playing down to the competition and then losing to an inferior team. They can't let that happen tonight mentally. If I'm Mitch Johnson, I use this as a coaching moment. We should go beat these guys. Let's go beat the crap out of them and not play down to that level of competition, because Oklahoma City, their guys, they're getting a chance to go play. And they're getting a chance to go play the Spurs, who have owned Oklahoma City this year. So those guys on the court are going to be fired up. We have seen a couple of examples this year in situations like that against the San Antonio Spurs.
That's exactly right. And those guys want to prove something, that maybe they should be getting more playing time. And if you can take care of it and somehow beat the Spurs, or at least keep this thing close, then who knows what's going to happen. This is a scary game for the Spurs. It really is a scary game because, look, you've been looking forward to this game. It's billed as a national televised game. It's billed as, a possible Western Conference Finals series. I mean, all the hype is there, and then all of a sudden you go, woo, and all the air goes out of the balloon. And that's got to be what the Spurs are thinking too. So mental toughness tonight for San Antonio is going to be so important, that they come out, take care of business, and don't let this game sneak up on them and give it away.
Well, and the other part of that too is, I mean, was it 5:46? The trade deadline is tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see. Anything goes on, is Brian Wright where he normally is, or does he disappear every time he's on the phone? People are going to be paying attention to that tonight because, I fully expect Jeremy Sohan, if they can find a taker, is going to be gone. And at this point, it might be a bag of chips, maybe even a half bag of chips and a flat Dr. Pepper. I don't know, but I expect him to be gone tomorrow. I want to know if the Spurs are able to bring somebody in, or is a Kelly Olynyk type get thrown into some sort of multiple team deal, because Kelly Olynyk's name today has appeared in a couple of different tweets that I've seen from national reporters about hearing stuff. And of course, he's got an expiring contract, but I would only imagine that Olynyk would depart if something was coming in return.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Again, Jeremy Sohan is not playing tonight. Again, he's missed several games with that injury. And you got to wonder, is that an injury, or is that just because we're trying to trade him and we don't want him to get hurt? And I think it's kind of the latter there. It's just too bad that Sohan comes in as the 9th overall pick, if you'll recall, when he was drafted. And everybody thought he might be the next coming of a Bruce Bowen, or maybe even better offensively than Bruce was, but certainly defensively the same as a Bruce Bowen, and it just hasn't worked out. And I think it hasn't worked out simply because he just doesn't fit the style of game that Mitch Johnson wants to play, and there's no reason to keep him around. Try to get something for him at this point, and it doesn't look like if they get anything for him, it's going to be anything that's going to turn the tide for sure.
What's alarming on Jeremy Sohan, and Pop loved him when they drafted him, and he was a top 10 pick. But when the Spurs got Wemby, everything changed, and he didn't fit. I mean, they've tried him at center. They've tried him at point guard. He doesn't fit in whatever the Spurs are doing now. Quite frankly, I'm not sure how he was going to fit when the Spurs actually drafted him, but they had an idea and a vision, and that changed. And that's cool. That to me doesn't count as a miss. We completely changed everything. You don't fit. But when you can't find a taker, now you really start to question how bad of a miss was that, because there's not another GM or coach that is saying, what we're missing, what Jeremy Sohan has to offer. We've seen moments where he looks like he could be an NBA player, but the fact that they have struggled this hard to move him, unless their asking price is just way too high on whatever value chart the NBA GMs use, that is disappointing that they can't even seem to trade this guy for a second-round pick.
And look, if they don't trade him for whatever reason and it doesn't go through, you got to wonder, what do you do with Jeremy Sohan? I mean, obviously, it's just kind of a wasted player on the bench because he's not playing many minutes. And, when he's in there, again, he doesn't fit. And it's interesting. At this point in time, you're right. A second-round pick for Jeremy Sohan, that'd be a shame. But at this point in time, I mean, I think you get what you can and move on.
Now, again, I don't know what Brian Wright's got cooking, what he's trying to get cooking, but they tried to trade him in the offseason. According to reports, couldn't find a taker, and that might be asking price. I don't know. But at the same time, I don't necessarily know that I want to see the Spurs just buy him out and send him on his way. Because there have been some moments this year when they've needed the energy and the spark or some toughness off the bench where he has played well. He's had his moments. And if you're not getting anything in return for him, is it more important to keep him for the random day that you do need him? Because he has had some of those moments. So maybe there's an opportunity down the stretch. I know they're trying to unload him, and by all accounts, it appears he's unhappy here and wants out because he doesn't like his role. It is just surprising that they haven't been able to find a taker in the offseason or as the trade deadline is getting close.
Well, and again, look, you can say this about every team. Not everybody hits on draft picks, but I think it's safe to say the Spurs failed miserably with this guy. And look, that was talked about when he was drafted. It's like, this guy's not a top 10 pick. Spurs picked him. Obviously, fans fall in love with anybody that's drafted by the Spurs. And with his colorful hair and stuff, he's a good dude, but he just didn't quite have what it takes And I think you're right. Once Wemby got here, all bets were off. And you got to fit players around Victor Wembanyama. And obviously Jeremy Sohan is not one of those players. So it is a shame. I feel bad for the young man, and hopefully he'll land somewhere where he can find some playing time and contribute to a team that might need him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I'm just quickly reading an article, Joe. I'm shifting gears in a hurry. We had Ryan Leaf on earlier today. And apparently after he was on with us, Ryan Leaf's day has not gone well. Headline, Ryan Leaf, I hate pop-up ads. Ryan Leaf allegedly accosted Dr. David Chow at Super Bowl Radio Row.
What?
Yeah.
Who's Dr. David Chow?
He's one of those injury doctors that does all kinds of media. And I'm trying to read this article to figure out what happened. But here's with Kaplan and crew, Ryan Leaf verbally attacked Pro Football Doc on Radio Row. Let's talk about why. Man, I didn't know anything about that. That's crazy.
I wonder if there's a beef from way back, or is this something that just came up that maybe this doc said to some reporter or in the past. Interesting, because Ryan Leaf is changed, and we talked about it. I mean, he just doesn't seem like the guy that just goes off on somebody for no reason.
Well, he did sue Dr. Chow more than a decade ago, alleged negligence in treating Leaf's injuries when Chow was the San Diego Chargers team doctor. Wednesday morning was the first time seemingly that he confronted in public over their history. Interesting.
Okay.
I'll have to follow up on that. But you see that come across and you're like, what the hell's going on? Well, I mean, I've seen one legit bar fight where a dude literally got his ass kicked by a bartender. I was at a bar last night where two chicks were about to throw down but had to get separated. And now Ryan Leaf apparently getting into something here on Radio Row.
Well, I don't know, Minix. I mean, do you see a similar thing here? It's you. You're causing people to get pissed off and want to fight.
No, I'm just a bystander, man. I'm just a witness to history. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't witnessed any fights here in San Antonio since y'all have been gone. Everything's been peaceful.
Dude, I haven't seen a legit bar fight in I don't know how long. And we were, just in the back, kind of, not really in the corner, but kind of in the corner. And then the bartender just started going and then knocked the crap out of this dude. And then they drug him out. Last night, we were in a booth, and at the bar area, these two chicks started to go after it. And quite honestly, we were kind of hoping they would.
No kidding.
And now this. Who knows? We're going to a Shannon Sharp party after dinner tonight. I mean, who knows what the hell's going to happen?
Well, Shannon Sharp's had a temper problem too, so at times. But as long as Skip Bayless doesn't show up, maybe he'll be okay. I'm not sure about that. So, hey, look, as much fun as we had today, Minix, tomorrow, the playmaker, Michael Irvin, joining us about 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I can't wait for that. Always great to talk to Michael Irvin.
It is the playmaker tomorrow, 5 o'clock San Antonio time. And Joe's favorite player on planet Earth, one Dalton Schultz, will be on the Blitz tomorrow as well. So Texans fans, all for you, tune in for that.
You think I can call him overrated?
I mean, sure.
I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
It's not like you're going to fight him because you're in San Antonio. Would you to his face? That becomes the question.
No. He's probably a big dude, and I'm not into bar fights.
And I know we're running out of time, but a little breaking news from your wife.
My wife.
She just responded to my story with our picture yesterday from John Riggins, who we had on the show yesterday. She said, it's my old neighbor from back in the day.
That's absolutely true. She grew up in Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C., and she was there with a lot of the old Redskins management and players, and they all lived around there. Yeah. Not only that, Minix, not only that, she's going to a Dallas Stars game tonight.
She is?
Yes. She's in Dallas for business, and they're all going to the Stars game tonight. So,
well, dude, that's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe she'll get you some gear.
Well, you're in San Francisco witnessing bar fights. She's in Dallas going to Stars game. Me and Pledge.
She'll see a hockey fight tonight.
Me and Pledge we just get left out, man. Just left out. completely.
Pledge says, welcome to my world.
I don't like Pledge's world.
Well, have fun with your TV dinner.
Absolutely. James, you got a show tonight, don't you? Extra Innings with Pledger is coming up next. Be sure and tune in bright and early tomorrow morning. You see what kind of shape Rob Thompson is in. The morning huddle begins at 6, and then Jason Minix and I will be back here on the Blitz at 2. Until then, have a great night, everybody.
Our AA Best Bell Bonds Radio Row coverage live from San Francisco is brought to you in part by Smoky Mo's Barbecue and Southern Rest.